So, lads, we are doing another episode of the Team Takeover podcast. I don't know which side my will make my webcam a little bit better. I just realized I'm kind of on one side. But basically, yeah, this is another episode. Have I put it the wrong way? I'm just kind of looking now. No, we should be okay. But yeah, this is another episode of the Team Takeover podcast. Myself, Dale, and Jacob. As always, we are currently live on the Unbeatable Jacob Twitch channel. A link will be in the description to his Twitch. And if you guys want to ever see these live, that's where to find it. So today we got a bit of an interesting one because we're in a bit of a bad period for 2K, which I'm not gonna lie, I just knocked my other webcam down, isn't bad for me. I gotta make videos talking about how 2K is bad. I'm cool with that.
I mean, is this going to be a whole episode of talking about the downfalls and underwhelmingness of Season 3? Because I'm sure it could be if we wanted it to be.
Yeah, if we want to go with that, I'm cool with it. But we gotta at least make it constructive rather than just mindless ranting. These mindless ranting is pointless.
I mean,
mindless ranting is pointless.
I don't think any three of us are the type of people that mindlessly rant about something like this, especially nowadays, because we've all been through plenty of down periods for my team before. We know when it's really bad, and we know when it's pretty bad. Where do you think we're at right now? Do you think it's really bad, or do you think it's pretty bad?
I think for the time of the year it's really bad.
It's really bad. I think
to be honest.
There's only one thing I think that could really fix this. Retro pink diamond LeBron locker code on Christmas Day.
That would actually be great.
They have to. Like we're getting my yearly Christmas Day video of me talking about how when the time 2K stole Christmas.
That would actually just be so that would actually show that they're more self-aware than what some people might think they are right now. That would just show so much self-awareness that it would be absolutely fantastic. Even if the card was terrible, just like the original, that would be actually great.
Yeah. Like, that LeBron wasn't good. That was the worst part about it. That LeBron sucked.
No. I was happier once they took him away and gave me something else. Because when they repaid us back, it was a good card. It was either Magic or Blake, that most people got, which were better.
I agree. They did a great job making up for it, but they still stole Christmas. I don't care. It is still the most... Oh, I just can't believe it. And also, since last week, we had the Steph Curry situation as well. It was they had an open layup. LeBron threw the full court pass to them. They caught it. They were in their 2 steps. They had the open layup. They had the layup that would have won them the game by just giving us a Steph Curry Evo Sapphire to Pink Diamond. It wouldn't have been that good and would have brought in so many people into the game. But no. They tried to double clutch 360 Kyrie and got chased down, and we got spotlights. The spotlights weren't bad, but it was the most obvious thing.
They weren't fun to do, though.
No, but it was the most obvious thing ever. They had already set the freaking precedent. That's the worst part. They already did it last year when Westbrook.
Nobody. But I knew they wouldn't do it because it's too early in the year.
But not for a pink diamond, Steph. That Russell Westbrook was 200.
That, but they don't want to be giving out free pink
that stuff isn't used anyways. That stuff isn't really used by anyone.
That Westbrook was better. That Westbrook was better at that stage last year. It was May of last year. That Westbrook had half blinders. That Westbrook was better at the time last year when it was given out, and it was also more expensive. That Westbrook was $200K, and they gave it to us for free, whereas they didn't even consider it with Curry.
The thing why the main reason why I don't think it's flat out terrible is I feel like they're just missing the mark with a lot of stuff, but they're still doing something. That new domination came out and they just missed the mark with it.
Is that not worse? Is that not worse that they know exactly what? Every single grind is either a luck-based grind or you either grind 18 hours and you don't get a single thing on the way to the final grind. There's no short-term grind. There's no I just have to play this game for an hour or two. I play this game for an hour or two. Maybe I can go and get something. No, it's I either have to play 18 hours or I get nothing. Or more. Like 18 hours is the least of the grinds, or I can maybe get lucky.
I guess
thing is,
today just makes it that my point doesn't even stand valid anymore because the cards they dropped today isn't missing the mark. It's flat out trolling.
they're horrible.
It has to be a troll, right?
Yeah.
Like that has to be a troll. Like there's no way that like even two individual people looked at each other and said they're gonna like these. Like nobody could have. Like there's no way two guys at 2K could have looked each other dead in the eyes and been like, yeah, this should make them happy. Like no, of course not. They get like 20 badges and they all like Van Horn and Reeves.
Like I will always say is that is a problem, but it's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that they're all look based. Like you're still not even probably gonna get big country.
Yeah, I know. And
I swear they ramp up the odds on these ass ones. I swear
they do.
Oh, they will.
I got like 8 Rod Stricklands after not getting. I played about 50 games for Strickland, and I think I got 8 of him, and I did not get a Paul Silas in 250 games.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. We saw it with Terry as well.
Historically, the second batch of the triple threat cards are always worse, or am I imagining that?
No, they're always better.
They used to be better last year. I think this year, I don't think there's much rhyme or reason. But there was somebody who commented on Ty's video who said DBG's gonna love this Bryant Reeves once he gets to use them. And I commented, like, I don't reply to YouTube comments, but I was like, for one, he's not gonna get him because he's literally a vault card. And for two, like, what does he do? What does Bryant Reeves do? Like, he's like, I'm assuming, like, maybe because he has post spin technician on Hoff. Like, I don't know why he would say that.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, like whatever.
Like, it used to be a thing.
Mash,
do they nerf
like,
post game?
It doesn't matter. Like that mashing stuff that people do, like having like high pokes moves and like finishing badges. He can't even get mouse in the house, which actually matters a lot. Mouse in the house is actually super important, which it shouldn't be a badge, but it matters a lot.
He can't get.
He can't score over small players. Like that's basically he's 7 foot tall center who is physically cannot score over smaller players because he doesn't have a badge.
He also can't get fast twitch either, so he goes up like a snail if he's under the basket.
Oh my! This has to be a troll. Like I swear, there has to be a reason for this. Like. That's intentionally releasing terrible content. Like,
why
give me day one Shaq. Give me
post?
day one Shaq over that new big country 100 times out of 100. At least
and
when I have Shaq on the court, I can
say. So not Wong GG. Give me what's his name? The other dude. The guy that 2K missed, but Ha-Sung Jin. Give me Ha-Sung Jin over big country.
Yeah.
Ha-Sung Jin, the man, the myth, the legend.
Ha-Sung Jin at least is huge.
Yeah, like Kai put it well when he tweeted out and he was like. Talking about these 2 triple threat cards, and he was like, but you could go get Wang Zhizhi for 3k MT, who's better. You could go get Jonathan Isaac for 3k MT, who's also better. Like, I just
but it's not even Jonathan Isaac. Season. If you want to play at the 3, Isaac Hayes is better.
Who's Isaac Hayes?
Wait, not Isaac Hayes. What's his name? Jarvin Hayes. Jarvin Hayes. And you can not only that, you can use 2 Jarvin Hayes cards. If you like Jarvin Hayes, you can use 2 of them. That's the ultimate fix. You can still use 2 Jarvis Hayes.
Can you use 2 Kobe's?
No. Only players that didn't have a card before. Only players whose first cards were in the signature series. So I'm pretty sure you can still use 2 Des Masons. You can use 2 Jose Calderons. Basically, if a new player comes in signature series that has not previously been in the game, you'll always, it's been the case since week 1, you will always be able to use 2 of him.
The thing about it is there's some like rhetoric based around like on Twitter going around like, oh, like you're just crying about like stuff like that doesn't matter. It's free, put up with it. But like, I don't know how you can say that after these cards come out because it's intentionally, they're trolling us. Like, do you not see this? They're flat out trolling us. These cards are
Have you seen the budget? Have you seen the budget cards we've gotten this season? Like, whatever about Kobe, have you seen how ass the budget cards have been the last 4 weeks? Since we got Wang Zhizhi and Jonathan Isaac, these are the lowest. These are the Ruby cards these are cards under 10k we have had this season. Cards under 10k. Maybe some of these cards have gone to 10k. But we've had Keon Johnson, Jason Williams, 70 speed JJ Redick, Kareem Dikembe. Then, after that, we had Franz Wagner, Eddie Curry, Paul Arzon. And Walter Davis is now under 10k, but he wasn't for the time. And we have also then got Jarvin Hayes, Gerald Green, Brandon Jennings, the post point guard, Paul Pierce.
Don't get Jacob started on Brandon
Like
Jennings again.
that is near the budget cards. There is one usable one. In 3 weeks, Jarvin Hayes is usable. He's not even good. He's just a worse Matisse Thybulle, but he's usable. That's all we've had. It's been 3 different matches. We've had one good budget player. And the week before, we got... But like the week before, Mystic Packs. Mystic Packs under 10k. We had DeJounte. Dino's better than all of them guys. Wang Gigi, OJ Mayo, Troy Daniels, Jonathan Isaac. And then right before that, we had more. Flash 4. We had...
Off Interceptor.
Marcus Smart.
Bridges.
Off Interceptor Bridges. Flash 3. Actually, even Flash 3, we had Eric Snow. There are budget cards from Season 1 that are better. Like, Season 1, we got better budget cards. Let me look at look at these. Dunktober. Cam Reddish and Gary Harris are better than every budget card we've gotten so far, except for Jarvin Hayes. And they were the first week.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
obviously, I don't.
On this budget, he's like 25k.
No, but he was like 30. Like, I'm not gonna say affordable cards because that is not 25k is borderline budget. Like, it's not. I'm gonna say 10k and under his budget. 25k is just affordable.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I don't pay too much attention to those cards, but like I've known it's been terrible because when I do match up with these budget teams, it's still Jonathan Isaac, Marcus Smart, Miles Bridges, etc., etc. You know, like. Yeah,
Wang Gigi.
Maybe they're gonna drop something crazy on Friday because it's Christmas Eve. Maybe that's what's gonna.
There has to be something coming. There has to be something coming because the cards we got today are flat out troll. There's no other way because like just the badge count alone. If they had like 40 badges or something, I'd say okay, maybe they just are really out of touch and don't understand. But if you're dropping Big Country with 24 Hoff badges, Pink Diamond, this close to Christmas. Like, they know what they're doing. They know. That's a joke. Straight up.
There's just, I don't know what it is. Like, there's nothing for anybody this season. Like, the online grinders, there's no point in going for Jason Richardson, realistically. He's not that good. Michael Red's better, but he's RNG.
But he's barely... Jason, we got Eddie Jones already, who's like better Jason Richardson, but no range.
Mm-hmm. The only... 2 cards that were really worth going out of your way for this season that aren't RNG are Cliff Robinson, maybe Dame. Iverson's horrendous. That's arguably one of the worst level 40 rewards we've ever seen. And
It's not one. Actually, is Iverson worse than Vince Carter last year?
No, because at least I'd have more fun with Iverson. They're both equally as not good. But I'd have more fun.
Vince was so ass. Like Vince was so ass. Let's now can we just remember how ass that Vince Carter was in season 7?
I never even used him.
Yeah, I was gonna get him for Dale, but by that point we were both just like, nah.
What stage, Dale, did we just give up on the game? Remember the podcast? We would just talk about my team for 2 minutes and be like, we're just not playing this game anymore. But it was probably like halfway through season 6. We just gave
season
up
6.
The last grind I probably did. I'm trying to think. I played with Hondo for like a good 6 weeks, and I'd say after that was around when I was done. So you know off the top of your head what came after Hondo in terms of grinds. I know I did Jameson. I did
you did Spotlight Sims because I remember Discord calls with you.
Yeah, I did. I did the first Spotlight Sims
with John Wall, Wes Unseld.
That's probably the last heavy grind I did, and then after that was kind of like.
That was right before 250. That was right before 250.
That was March,
and I remember I hadn't slept before 250. I was just dead before the final. I
don't know how I did those grinds last year because doing this Dom is like horrendous. I've got like 6 games left. I mean, it doesn't help that the reward is like so bad.
Manu,
like I'm literally like Anton.
It's so bad. Oh, what were they thinking with Manu freaking Ginobili?
I remember, like when I seen his stats and I seen he didn't have Limitless or whatever, I was like, you know what? Maybe that Hoff badge pack has Limitless in it. That's probably the kicker. But no, the Limitless or the Hoff badges suck too for the most part. Can't even remember what's in there. Bailout and some other garbage.
Yeah,
Just
I
don't know
mean,
what to
with
say
that
anymore.
Manu, the thing about it is his SIGs are actually good. I just don't understand why they insist on giving a lot of the same cards really bad jump shots year in and year out.
I
Really
don't
doesn't
even
make any
mind the
sense.
jump shot. Like, it's actually not as bad as you think. The problem is that he doesn't get any half shooting badges. He can't get range. He's like a mediocre at best defender, and he can't play the one.
Hey man, you can stick that Hoff chef on him from the Curry spotlights.
Who the hell uses chef shots in my team? I'm sorry, we're not Splash Edition.
I don't even know how you activate Chef like that because it never
Neither do
pops
I.
up for me, even on what I would assume would be a Chef shot. Like I never
Like,
see it pop.
I can quick stop and shoot from half court with Steve Nash.
It pops up on fades.
Is it only limitless
Behind
phase?
the
Because
back.
if you're relying on limitless phase,
Step
like you're in for a bad
Step
time
backs.
anyways. Step backs,
No,
Like, nobody knows what triggers what because they added Circus 3's difficult shots, Limitless Chef, and Limitless Spot him. Nobody knows what triggers when. You just
I mean,
hope
I've
for the
tried to
best.
look through 2K labs, and none of it seems to correlate because what they say quantifies a chef shot definitely doesn't trigger it on my team.
It's different in my team and Park as well as more.
Yeah, I don't know. When they patched it in Park, it was triggering for me off everything. Like,
Oh,
I don't know how it works on my team, but pretty
Would
much
I-
any quick stop off a dribble, it'll pop up.
I'm just saying we are all anyone who has ever liked to score in 2K. As soon as more tall point guards come out, I'm just saying switch everything. Off ball in the corner is impossible to score on unless you quick or shifty snatch back burst by the defender. That's the only way to
What
beat
you're
it.
talking about the corner? What is going on there lately? Why are we back
the
to
corner's
day one?
helping
Corners dropping.
Yeah, whatever
What
they
is
switch
going
something
on
and it turned
there?
into day one defense again.
Like what is actually happening there? It doesn't. If you play smother deny, it doesn't happen. But
No.
if you play smother tight, back to
I
day
mean-
one again. I just don't know what's going on.
I
I don't
just
think
you
they
know,
know what's going on.
I just don't really enjoy where the gameplay is at right now or the meta where it's at, and I'm holding out that like once new cards come out, it'll change for the better. But the more I logically think about it, it's only gonna get worse.
Like the offense there will be a stage where a couple of juiced offensive cards will come out, but once we get a juiced 5 defensive lineup, everyone will have interceptor, everyone will have menace. No one's scoring. It's going to turn into 2K20 again without the dribble glitch. It's going to be set a screen at the halfway line, pro 3 behind the back, run to the basket, and either paint mash or if the defender drops in, kick to a shooter. It is going to be D-Pash 2K20 again.
I'm Sim Nation now. I've been watching RCA's videos. I'm running plays. I'm getting open every possession.
I mean plays will always
it's-
work.
Yeah, it's more liable to do now than ever. But the thing I want more than anything is to just get a card that has all of the best SIGs with a jump shot on quick. Even if he doesn't have any sort of defense, at least then I can use that card and start to kind of wrap my head around like if it's gonna be possible to get open when we actually get cards that have those SIGs. And it's weird because normally at this point of the year we have cards that have the quote unquote best SIGs. But that probably won't happen for a very long time this year because they put all of the best SIGs behind player names now. Last year at this point in time, we had Penny Hardaway who had Quick and Pro 2, which was the Curry Escape and the good side to side. So that's literally the best SIGs you can give a card in the half court. And we won't get a card that has D-Row size up with the Curry Escape and a jump shot on Quick to go with it. Probably until post 250? Like, yeah, definitely post 250.
I'm kind of cool with that because last year we got Terry Dishinger in like January and he was endgame. Like he should have been an endgame card. And then in the end we got 400 Galaxy Opals or Dark Matters. Like
yeah.
And I'm not even joking. I need to find how many Dark
those
Matters
numbers up this year.
Like
in
400.
practice that sounds terrible, but that's almost what it's going to take to score the ball against the way the defense is this year. Like in practice, it doesn't make as much sense because
Let me even just go check real quick how many pages of Dark Matters there are on.
There are 19 full pages and 1. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15.
That
So there
is
are there were
mental.
300, or there were 286 dark matters. I'm wrong with 400. There were 286 exactly.
Which is too
I'd say
many.
we break 400 this year. Usually,
I mean, if you
goes up
count
in
Evo dark
increments.
matters, because there were a few of them, definitely over 300. But let's just say 300.
That's
That's
too
another
many.
thing we haven't seen in a while.
But it's all relative to time. It's like I don't hate if there's 300 dark matters in the game if 200 of them come out after June. You know, it's all relative to time.
Yeah.
But they don't need to do that. They don't need to like. Remember last year when they call it season rewinds? Like you don't need to put dark matters in those packs. You can just make them really good pink diamonds. Like that no one buys them anyways.
I think season rewind is going to be really cool because I think they just did it too late last year. Because remember they did during the playoffs and it was in like June. I think it was just too late. Like I think if they bring in season rewinds in like April, I think that would be really cool. Where you can see like these unheralded players like getting cards throughout the year. I think it would have been really good.
And
as long as they don't do what
with
they do with the season rewind rewards. Do you remember how ass they were?
Oh my! I forgot about that. Yeah, that was like more. That was as troll as the cards are today. That was troll too. Like those were literally like season 2 or season 3 cards coming out like season 8. Bad.
There were day 1 cards that were better than like I got Mason Plumlee and there were day 1 cards better than them.
I remember I remember there be people in my stream during that point in time that were like trying to cope because they were doing them and they were saying stuff like, no, these rewards are gonna walk in for something. Like I gotta keep doing them now. These are gonna walk in for something. I remember saying that. I'm like, please stop. Like,
they
just
were
stop.
so bad for a lock-in.
Yeah, they gotta be this bad for a reason. They gotta lock in for something. I'm like, dude, you need to stop.
I remember JD. This was when JD was still on like Twitch, and he was like doing like obviously he was booming on Twitch and YouTube before he went to Facebook, and he was like, "Oh no, these are so bad. They have to lock in for something." And I literally was like replying to all his tweets, being like, "They would tell us if they locked in for something because these cards expire in a week." I was like, "They can't expire," and then people who didn't know they locked in suddenly find out, "Oh, you should have done them like retroactively." Like finding a week later, it's like there is a 0% chance they lock in for anything unless they tell you on the day. And then after one time around, everyone's like, "Oh crap!" Once they first ones expire, yeah, they don't lock in. Some people didn't lose hope though. Some people did not lose hope.
No, there's some people that completed the collection. I mean, I don't know.
But that's what I like. That's what I like to call having more time than sense.
Yeah. Because those weren't easy grinds either. It's not like it wasn't like 2 games of triple threat. They were like pretty they're like 2 hours a pop, weren't they?
No, they were. It was like 100 points, but there were 5 steals. And do you remember how hard it used to be? Or 10 steals. Do you remember how hard it used to be to get 10 steals last year?
That's the one thing I never struggled with.
It's just that when you said they were sort of long grinds or they weren't easy or whatever, haven't had a lifetime agenda card in a while.
In 2 seasons. Season 1. The last week of season 1 was the last lifetime agenda.
The window.
I mean,
bro.
It's just laughable to me at this point because I'm not really playing the game right now. I'm just taking a break and stuff, so I'm just kind of on the outside looking.
No one really is.
I'm just playing the game right now.
They're literally driving everyone away.
Look at my channel. How many games I have played that weren't just me like doing individual gameplays with a card? The last video where I did something that wasn't a gameplay of the card was when I played with gold players 4 days ago. I played the game 4 days. I'm properly played the game in 4 days.
And that might not sound like much to like a normal person, but everyone needs to remember DBG does this for a living. Like, yes, that's the difference. 4 days is a long time for a professional MyTEAM content creator.
Player. I have, however, made 3 round videos today. And this podcast, which is probably going to go maybe today.
You better get the Keith Van Horn gameplay out, DBG. I'm pretty sure the community's waiting on it, man.
Oh, I actually might. You know what? I might just be like, this card is an actual garbage, man. You know his picture in game isn't even correct. If you go into the subs menu, it's not even a picture of Keith Van Horn.
I mean, that's Kawhi. I'm pretty sure is still Taco Fall in that menu.
Kawhi's Taco Fall. Keith Van Horn's Dean Wade.
But that's
what I mean. Not, like, But the fact
Is
that it's a
Brandon
troll card,
Jennings
this picture
Trey
isn't even
Murphy
correct.
too? Because that I cannot believe. That I
Brandon
honestly...
Jennings, he's literally like, why didn't they just make him another point guard? Not a center. He has like, I looked at he can't dunk, but he has all the big man dunk animations.
No, he's literally a copy and paste of a rookie power forward for the New Orleans Pelicans. And I just don't get why they haven't changed it. Because clearly they've done that before. They went back and changed someone's SIGs real quick last year once when they completely... I forget what card it was. It was a diamond Raymond Felton or something like that. Who the heck was it? It was
Alston.
No, there was a card last year. Do you remember DBG?
It was, yeah, it was.
Diamond
there were two of them.
Ty Lawson.
No, it was
Ty Lawson. Right?
No, it wasn't Ty Lawson. It was actually Pink Diamond Patrick Ewing.
Pink Diamond Patrick Ewing. They changed his SIGs on
from Spotlight Sims. You not remember? They like gave him base 4 and everything, and everyone's like, "Oh, this card actually could be good." And they changed his SIGs and badges and made them worse. Made them Ewing's actual SIGs.
Yeah, they did it to another point guard too, and they're clearly.
No, do you want to know who they did it to? Tracy McGrady, Galaxy Opal.
Oh, I do remember that too. What did they change on him? I forget.
They changed everything. They changed his dribble style. They changed his behind the back. They changed his shot release. Like it wasn't Trey Burke anymore.
It happened a few times last year. Then
LeBron James Galaxy Opal as well. It happened during that set. It happened to loads of them.
There was a Ty Lawson card too. I forget. He had I remember it specifically because I'm pretty sure he had the green Nuggets jersey on in the card art. And they switched it like right once the card got released too. He had Pro 2 and they gave him something else. But the thing about it is this complaint of mine, there's a reason why I tweeted about it 6 different times. Brandon Jennings was my favorite player through that whole entire era. He hasn't been in the game since 2K16. I've been tweeting since I started making content. Can you guys please get Brandon Jennings rights? Like this card would mean a lot to me. Like he was my favorite player. And he gets big dribble style. Last year, the shortest player in the game that had big dribble style was 6'6", and it was some dude from the 80s. I think it was that Sanders dude who played for the Celtics, who probably deserved it. Brandon Jennings was one of the shiftiest point guards I have seen with my eyes. He had all the comparisons to Allen Iverson in his day, like when he first came up with that 55-point game. Like, if they wanted to give him base dribble style, that would be disrespectful. Giving him big dribble style is straight up negligence and disrespect to everything that man did on the basketball floor. That is crazy.
I mean, we can't forget, he also has got under basket rim pulls, big man back scratchers, big man basic one-hander off 2, big man baseline reverse off 1, big man baseline reverses off 2 with a 25 dunk. I'm sorry, with a 65 driving dunk and a 25 standing dunk. He gets all the big man dunk animations.
I mean, come on. If you're going to clone him off somebody like Kyrie. Like, if you want to be lazy with it, make him a Kyrie clone. You know, if you really don't want to put in effort.
You see the one where they're just like anyone if they have any sort of like relative? Because I'm pretty sure, is it like Rod Strickland is like Kyrie Irving's godfather? So they made Rod Strickland the Kyrie Irving clone. And then ML Carr is like related to Brandon Ingram, so they made ML Carr a Brandon Ingram clone.
Yeah.
Like they're literally just seeing relatives and saying, "Oh yeah, let's just make them clones of each other."
If it makes sense, be my guest. Brandon Jennings is nothing like whoever that 6'8" power forward is for the Pelicans. Like, come on. If they wanted to make him,
find that out?
I mean, because the jump shot that he has is like pretty rare. It's like jump shot 67 or something like that. The only other player that has it in the league is Willie Cauley-Stein, and then this dude, whoever he is, Trey Murphy for the Pelicans. So I was like, all right, like I saw the big dribble style. I was like, clearly this is a clone of somebody because like they wouldn't screw it up this bad. So it wasn't hard to find. He has literally every single thing down to a spin jumper, hop jumper, dunk package 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all the exact same free throw animation. And we're talking about a dude who is a 6'8" power forward. Brandon Jennings was a 6-foot guard, known for his dribbling ability. Like, dude,
it was probably just some intern. He just copy and paste it.
Copy and paste it. They probably told him, just copy and paste it from a random player. But it is like we have to admit, like it is pure laziness. Like it is pure laziness.
100%.
Like it's not that
this year's gonna be.
It's not that hard. Like this year is the most copy and pasted. Like There are so many, like Brandon Ingram is like, or not Brandon Ingram, Joel Embiid has like 80% of his stats copied and pasted from Stu Pink Diamonds. Like, just change them +1. Like, if you ever look at FIFA, they like give them +1 in all the stats. And at least that means that, the people that are making the stats have put in the time to kind of edit or click up. There's probably an up button. And they clicked up on every single stat once. Spent the 45 seconds it took to do that. But no, 2K is just copy and paste.
I just don't understand who is doing it, right? Because Sam, I added Sam, and I don't publicly at Sam. I'm too cool with him to put him on the fryer for anything. But when I've had problems that he can fix, he will fix them. My City Piston jerseys didn't show up. All right, I'm talking to Sam, getting this fixed real quick,
Yeah,
but with this, he saw it. Sam is my age. He knows what Brandon Jennings did in the league. He saw my tweet. He had to have. Like, he sees it when I add him. Like, there has to be a reason, and I just can't comprehend what it is because
I don't think it's technically a problem. Like, there are things like I hit him up, and it was like the Illinois team in Domination wasn't actually a team of players from Illinois. It was the Chicago Bulls team from this season and some players from last season. It was just a bunch of players that have played for Chicago Bulls in the last 2 years. Like, the Illinois themed team had Larry Markkinen, Vucevic, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine. Like, for some reason, it was the Bulls with Markkinen still there for some reason. And that was fixed, like, within a day. So obviously the Brandon Jennings situation being Trey Murphy is intentional.
I mean, what are they? Do you think they just are laughing at me specifically, or like what? Like, who are they? Like, what's the purpose of this? Like,
yeah, they're just they're subverting expectations. We've had 2 years where cards are getting the Curry slide and all sorts, but this year it's gonna be the year we're gonna get like MJ with big man sigs. Just completely change the game.
Like, can we just take into account the fact that they, instead of nerfing the Damian Lillard behind the back, they just changed it.
Yeah, I still don't know what
the Damian Lillard behind the back.
Can
we just take that? Like, they just switched. They didn't actually nerf anything. They just switched a bunch of the names of the stuff. Like, everyone in Park was like, "Oh, they nerfed Damian Lillard behind the back," and I saw someone reply, "No, they didn't nerf it. It's just Scotty now. They just changed the name."
Yeah,
I don't know what was going on there. That was such a weird thing to do.
That was weird. This game, it's a weird one because, like, obviously, Jacob, the way you play, it's not enjoyable for you. But in terms of, like, working as a basketball game, it functions the best of any 2K game we've had in years. Like, obviously, it's not fun to play competitively because the defense is too strong. But, like, it functions the best. There are no, like, game-breaking glitches anymore. Like, I know mashing is tough. It's not enjoyable to play in comp, and I agree. Like, you can make the argument that it's not enjoyable. But, like, there's no speed glitch. There's no big man running small, big men having 150 speed and small guys can't run anymore. There's no tween glitch. There's no explosive behind the back which stuns people. Since 19, it's probably the game that's worked the best, but it's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I enjoy playing it, but I can see why people hate it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I always preface whenever I'm complaining about the game on stream. I always say, I can see why people would like this game, but this is the reason why I don't. Because I can understand, like, especially from a casual perspective, there's the speed glitch last year. If you were new to the game and fired up your first unlimited game and someone starts speed glitching you, like, I can understand from your perspective how that's terrible. But I mean, for me, I'm not enjoying it. And also about the Brandon Jennings thing too. If anyone says like, "Oh, it's just a dribble style, like you can't burst, whatever, get over it."
It's not. He's copy and paste with a big man.
Yeah, but you can't even. I've never seen this before, and I would have never known. You can't even explosive behind the back with big dribble style. I didn't know that there was a dribble style that could block you from doing an explosive behind the back. He literally can't do anything. I always thought that was tied to ball handle, because it is. No matter what your dribble style is, unless it's big, you can do an explosive behind the back. I was like, at least like, let me just like mess around with him and see if I can like use him as a troll. But I can't even do an explosive behind the back. Like, I don't know.
I'm just almost laughing at this situation because it's like everything that was like wrong with 2K, and this is one thing I gotta give 2K props for, is that everything that was wrong in 2K21 seems to kind of be rectified. A lot in terms of gameplay. And there's always going to be like new stuff that's wrong. So like I'm cool with that. But it's like a lot of things they did right. Like Season 3 holiday content from like end of November to the end of December. They did that perfect last year. Every week, creator locker codes where we got 5 free packs every single weekend. Drove plenty of players into the game. Consistent locker codes. The only locker codes we get are brand new locker codes for packs since day one of the season. Like we got consistent
now
locker
you
codes
have a
last year.
chance to log in for a candy cane or a Christmas present. So
A candy cane or a present, like I understand what event cards are, but
exchanges
come
for-
on. They were like, oh, there are these
Absolutely.
exchange. Like, literally, I'm just telling you guys right now, watch my reaction to the dev blog video now. Everything I said was correct. I'm like, these are just gimmicks. And they're like event cards lock in. I'm like, this is a gimmick. I was just a complete gimmick. I was like, grading, complete gimmick. Hollow cards, complete gimmick. Like all these things, I'm like, this is a gimmick. This is a gimmick. This is a gimmick. Draft. Well, as soon as we found out you only flip 3 cards, I was like, this is going to be a disaster. Like, and then people were on my neck being like, oh, we need to be positive. You're just hating on the game. It's like, no, I'm reading the flaw. I can see what the flaws are. And like, I don't know what
I
the
remember
hell.
I tuned into a JD stream on the first day of this quote unquote HOOPSMAS event, and someone was like, "What did you get in your pack?" And he was like, "Got a gold badge." And I looked at like the event thing on 2K, and like a gold badge wasn't even advertised as something you could get in these packs. Like, it's such a disaster class of a season, but it's hilarious.
I mean,
I
it's
feel
so bad. I can't
hilarious.
help but laugh. I can't believe there's actually people that are like still trying to justify it, because at the end of the day,
Hey man, people will justify anything down to the ground. Someone probably justified was it, Clash of Champions or whatever the hell that season was.
Like that season started off. That season ended fine. And the one thing I'm gonna give 2K props for, Gauntlet Spotlight Sims were actually a really good idea because everyone they got everyone talking about the game. No, like it was a stage where it was 2K Dark Souls. It got everyone talking about the game. Everyone played them. It became like an event to see who's going to beat these challenges first. Apparently, a load of like newer players played some of the easier ones to get their free cards, so it brought a lot of new players in. A lot of people, because it was an actual challenge. Like obviously, you don't do Gauntlet Spotlight Sims till the end, but like that was a really good thing. Like as much as I hated it when I saw it, I was like, hindsight 2020. That's something that I'm like, I'm pretty sure, like if that was how it was intended to be, that they knew people were going to get pissed, but it was going to draw in more players.
What one do you think?
No, it worked.
Worse?
I set my record for viewers on Twitch that's now been broken plenty of times, but doing that taco challenge, because I was obviously getting so like upset about it or whatever, because it's just a funny gimmick. Beat Invincibles with gold challenge. It's like overall, I give that taco event 10 out of 10. Possibly the best, in my opinion, offline content they ever gave out. And if you want to give the argument of, oh, it was too hard. Yeah, the card you got was the best card in the game for the rest of the year. It's not supposed to be easy. Not everybody needs to get the best card in the game. It's supposed to be tough. Like, that's the point of it, which I think is cool. You know, not every grind needs to be mindless, play for 20 hours, maybe get the card, maybe not. Anybody could do it, though. Like, I think it's cool when sometimes they put something challenging in the game and reward properly for it.
I didn't like some of the challenges. I love the Go versus Invincibles challenge. I'm just going to say that. Like, because that was just difficult. The ones where it was like, get 11 steals with a player without committing a foul. I'm like, how the hell do you do this? I just paid Carlos to do all those ones.
Yeah, that is tough. But the Gold versus Invincible one was cool, because you could like feel yourself getting better. You try it once, you're like, okay, that's not going to work. Let me try and run a play, see if that works. Oh, that play might work, but I think I need to get body healed for it to work. Like, it was kind of cool.
Wasn't there like a one that was really specific where you could only play your starters for X amount of minutes, or am I imagining that?
No, it was like you had to score a certain amount of points in a certain amount of minutes. But if you played, you had to play it less than the amount. So if it was like in less than 10 minutes, and if you played them 10 minutes on the dot, you lost. You would have to sub them out. So I used to just play people first quarter, fourth quarter, and as soon as they hit the points, would sub them out.
Yeah. I mean, that was really cool. To me, that kind of offline content is the only kind of offline content I'll ever enjoy. I'll never enjoy doing a domination Domination, I'll end up
No.
playing half the game, setting my controller down, going and making some dinner while the game finishes, and I get 5-second violations. Like, TTO offline, same story. You mindlessly run through that. But that's cool. It's engaging. It's the very, very rare form of engaging offline content.
Yeah, I don't even mind some of that mindless offline content. As long as there's something, like, I stand by this is what they should have done with Domination. Every division you beat, instead of them giving like a stupid flash pack and then a like deluxe pack for 15 stars, give a deluxe pack for 10 stars, and at 15 stars we get an amethyst, a random amethyst from that division. It could be anyone. And then amethyst, or even amethyst Evo Diamond or something. Like, remember the first Domination, we got cards as we went through. They need to do that with other DOMs. Like,
And
we
like
literally,
you said,
you get nothing. You get nothing until you get Manu. Manu's not even good.
There's so many players they could choose from too. They'll never run out of players to have to be used. There's over thousands of players or characters, skins of cards, whatever you want to call them at this stage in the game that they can choose from. Like, there's so many players.
Do you guys remember when you could make a full team of Dino clones last year? I mean, you could make a full team of players who had base 4, the Dino Raja upper, Pro 2 behind the back, whatever it was.
Did they
like,
all have
clones of each other.
7-Eleven wingspan?
No.
Dino doesn't
No, as in,
have
like,
that
but you
anymore. They killed
No,
Dino's
Dino's
wingspan
small.
Yeah,
this
why
year.
did they change that too? Like, what is
Because his
that?
actual wingspan was 7'3", but I don't even care. He's known for having a 7'11" wingspan. Like, did you see they got Kevin Durant's height wrong?
I mean,
They didn't get his height wrong. They tactically
No.
did that so they can release practically the same card again at some point, make him 6'10".
Yeah,
People buy
but like,
because
no,
last
it's
year,
like every Brooklyn Nets KD is 6'10", except for the Moans.
well, last year they did the same thing. His first card that came out. Well, if it's Nets, then that's a different story, I guess. Because
Yeah, no,
last
that's
year
what
it was
I mean,
the same
like-
thing. Last year they made
like-
his first card that he got, his Amethyst, 6'10", and then they made his Flash card, Diamond card, 6'9", and then once he got his Pink Diamond, they made him 6'10" again, which I don't like. I mean, you know, they'll do the same thing with a Mellow Ball. A Mellow Ball's first card will be 6'6", and then his last card will be
It is already
6'8".
6'6".
Yeah, and then he'll get a 6'8" card at some point this year, just because that's what they do nowadays. Same with LeBron. He's probably gonna get 6'8" cards, and then he'll get 6'9" cards. They've been doing that since like 20. Just like pick a height and stick with it.
I know. One of the things I do kind of get with that is that KD was listed as 6'9" until he went to Brooklyn. Like, he was listed as 6'9", so I understand that, and then he got listed as taller.
If they want to do that with him specifically, I mean, it's, you know.
No, it was like LeBron grew it. LeBron was listed 6'8" his whole career till he went to LA.
I wonder one
everywhere.
of these years.
He was listed at
I don't-
6'9".
we're probably far out.
Some locations.
I feel like eventually there's going to be a game where they just say fuck it and they just start glitching heights. They're going to do it eventually.
They talk
I have no
about
doubt
it.
in
People
my
talk
mind
about it every
eventually.
year. Remember last year with
Every
Glitch
year.
Reality? People saw the trailer and they're like, "Is it just me or does D Wade look taller?"
D-Wade looked taller. I was like, there's nothing in the back.
But I
How the hell does he
genuinely
look
think
taller?
eventually it's going to happen. They're just going to run out of ideas. They're going to be like, fuck it, have a 7-foot crisp.
I think we
was-
see
everyone-
celebrity cards before we see that. Or
Yeah, I
creator
don't
cards,
see there
whatever.
being any reason why we don't see celebrity cards. I don't even care. Like, at this
I
stage,
wouldn't be
people,
against
it's
it.
so funny.
They used to have
W-
it in 2K.
Yeah, why is there no WNBA pack? I'm sorry. I get it, they're not going to be good in game, but why not just release it on a Tuesday? All the WNBA. Give us Deladon, give us Tarasi, give us Kambaj, give us Brittany Griner. Give us a full WNBA set. Who cares? And everyone's like, oh, but the WNBA players, like, oh, they shouldn't get destroyed. They wouldn't be good enough. It's like, Taco Fall's the best player in the game. I'm sorry, I can almost guarantee there are some WNBA players that are probably closer to Taco Fall than Taco Fall is to LeBron James.
I would have been so against celebrity cards, creator cards, WNBA cards, even in 20. But at this point, I'm just like, dude, just do whatever. I don't care. Put in whatever you want in the game. Let me load up with the Avengers at this stage. It won't make a difference. Like, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, like that would I would enjoy, honestly. Imagine if Space Jam cards came out and we loaded up with Bugs Bunny.
I love Ty's
You
video on
can't
last
say
year.
that.
When those Space Jam packs were announced, I genuinely thought it probably would have been hard to work out the rights, but a part of me almost thought,
What?
I'm going to load up 2KDB and Daffy Duck's going to be sitting there looking me in the eye. Really
My-
hot. You'd be running
Do you
around with the monsters.
Do you want to know what I hated about
20-foot
that was
monsters.
that like they didn't actually put the pictures of the real players in it. Why? And then they had like remember they had like AD with his like character in the background. AD shouldn't have been on that card. It should have just been his character.
Yeah, his character. Yeah, the cards still looked good, but yeah, they would have looked better if they would have just left the things on there. My favorite Ty video is still he had a 20-minute video of him with a straight face talking about how each character would have been in the game. He was like, Tweety Bird probably gonna be a little bit of liability on defense. You know, she's only listed at 2'4", but you know they just gotta give her a quick first step or whatever. Like. Dude, like, it was like a 20-minute video, and he just had a straight face.
The grandma
Yeah, just
gonna be having all the best dribble sigs because she was like, handles for days in the movie.
That has to be up there. Like, I'm gonna have to do a stream.
That would
reacting to
that
all
would
those
actually
iconic
be
2K
dope
videos.
if
That has
we
to be up
got
there.
like movie card sets. Like do that like Mike. Give us
Ray Allen,
what's
Jesus,
the-
shut word Ray Allen.
What's the kid's name in like Mike though? I can't even remember.
Oh wow, he's promoting cryptos at the minute, isn't he?
Oh, I know who Bow Wow is, but his character.
Calvin Cambridge.
name-
Calvin Cambridge. That's
Calvin
what it is.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Give me a Calvin Cambridge. What other basketball movies?
Could get
were
the
there?
shoes and those be like plus 20s or something.
Shoes. No, 2K should do that. I'm giving you all the ideas right now. Have the shoes in the pack. The like Mike, just call them like Mike, and they're just old Jordans with MJ written on them, and they give you plus 20 to like 5 stats.
I mean, the rights
Maybe
to
plus-
that can't be expensive anymore. I
give
mean,
me
they
Coach
probably
have the
Carter in the
Jordans.
game. Give me Coach
Sorry?
Carter in the game.
Coach Carter.
Coach
Coach Carter. Oh my god.
Carter.
Coach
Uncle
Carter
Coach
is
Carter.
the first. That's forget about Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich. Coach Carter should be the Dark Matter coach this year. Coach Carter, like that'd be- there's no reason. There's no
have
reason to
swearing on
not
the
do
board.
that. Like obviously if they don't have the rights, but if they can get the rights, that would be so cool. Imagine being not playing for a few years and you come back.
Coach Carter.
Carter,
They
like
might as well.
Calvin
They've already
Cambridge.
been getting wacky with it when Taco's the best damn card in the game. You might as well just
Yeah.
say, screw it.
That's why I'm just
Yeah,
at this point forget about
I
it.
feel
It
like
was-
the easiest one off rip, they can just do an Uncle Drew and just have an old man Kyrie on the court. That's gotta be the easiest one to pull off.
But like I was on the I think I was on what was it like Flight Mike and Corzemba and D-Coop's podcast Lace Up a couple of weeks ago. And they were saying they were like D-Coop goes, geez, I heard my team's gotten unrealistic. I heard there's a 3-point shooting Ben Simmons now. And I'm like, are you joking? Like we have a taco fall with 99 in every single stat and every single badge in Hall of Fame. Like a 3-point Ben Simmons is nothing. We've had 3-point shooting Shaq since 2K19.
Yeah. I mean, I would have hated the idea of that, of all of this stuff we're talking about like 3 years ago, but you just become desensitized to it if you play this. You play this, you naturally just grow to stop caring about any sort of realism.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my first year on my team really was 20, so I just got the unrealistic shit from the get-go.
Yeah. If you played somebody else, I will say, like, we can't all forget, Dunk the Funk happened in 2K15. Like, people pretend that set didn't exist.
Yeah.
Jacob, you remember that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I ran that Sean Kemp and that Daryl Dawkins and stuff, but yeah, I think
You
I
weren't
probably
running-
hated it at the time too, but
You weren't running them at... People didn't do it at the time. You weren't running them at point guard. I was running them at point guard.
Yeah.
Basically, these cards all had... This is back before dribbling mattered, and there was no speed with ball stat. These cards all had... And, like, quickness was lateral quickness and acceleration combined. Quickness was lateral quickness and acceleration. Speed was speed and speed with ball. Every card in this set had 99 speed and 99 quickness. So they were just the best defensive players in the world. Like, there was a Daryl Dawkins center card, and it was back when blocks were, or dunks were unblockable. You would run baseline, trigger dunk animation, dunk every single time with these guys. And people were talking about it being, like, again, 3-point Hakeem and 3-point Kareem in 2K17
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah, it didn't take too long for them to go crazy overboard. I guess with the Dunk the Funk, those ones were actually easy to get. Like, those were cheap cards, if I do remember correctly, for the most part. Like, they weren't maybe the cheapest cards, but they were cheap enough, affordable. And but now they're just so easy to come by. I mean, the Kembe diamond glitched as early as we got him this year. It was actually surprising considering how stale content has been now, but that's just the writing on the walls that any sort of realism, it won't even last for one season anymore. Realism is no longer a thing in my team. It won't even last a week. It won't even last a week.
We lasted a week before Shooting Dikembe Mutombo came out.
That is just crazy that they dropped them that quick. I was in shock.
I'm looking at the flashbacks. Like, they should have released at least give us Signature Series Week 2. Like, 2K can release the bum content in the first week and we're still gonna buy it. Like, it was the first new pack. We didn't need Colossal Day 1. Season tip-offs like last year would have been perfect, where they were okay. Colossal should have been Week 1, then Signature Series, then Dunktober, start of October. That goes into that. And then after that, middle of October, give us our Shooting Dikembe.
Yeah. I mean, even to me, I feel like that's a little bit too early, but probably necessary. I think for the early, like, the clutch pack from last year, I think it was great. Like, that's like a good right at the start of the year pack. Get yourself an Amethyst MJ, Amethyst Kobe, like some of the big names, get them out of the way,
Kareem
get them their first card. Yeah, just get those guys their first card, and keep the legends in the game that are the best for some point in time, and then just roll with it from there. Like stuff like that, I think is kind of perfect, honestly.
Yeah, but we need a like Darius Miles came out as a budget card in Week 1.
He's still really good.
That card would have been he would have been considered an endgame level card in 2K18. Not even like that long ago. In 2K18, I was looking at stats wise, that card was not that much worse than the Jonathan Isaac in 2K18 we all thought was God.
Yeah. Back then too, you could have ran him at shooting guard or point guard if you wanted to as well, so
yeah.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking for Christmas we get a limited edition. They're just gonna come for the Christmas money. 3 days.
Packs on Christmas. I think you might be right. I think you might be right.
I'm feeling a limited edition on Friday. Come for
like LeBron's
Christmas
coming out.
money.
LeBron's coming out Friday. Can we all just say that right now? LeBron's coming out.
Yeah. Holy smokes!
That can't be a free one though.
Has it been easy to predict content this year or what? It's been so easy to predict content. I think that I'm at like a 80%. I guessed right one of the headliner rate because every week somebody asks me in a stream.
No way you predicted Jimmy Butler or Ray Allen or Tim Duncan.
Those would be the two that I probably missed. Tim Duncan I got actually. I actually was saying we're due for a Tim Duncan, and normally I speak very vaguely with it too. Not last week. Last week I said we're getting Magic, and we got Magic. I mean, I remember specifically the Dunktober packs. I said, "Yup, it's time for a Dirk." It's just been very, very predictable.
October
Everyone was joking. Remember a joke about that, and it was like Dunk with Dirk Nowitzki for Dunktober, and then we had a 45 Dunk.
50.
Yeah, they didn't even give him if you're gonna make a dunking set, they gotta have at least a 90 dunk. At least.
What was it? True. It was Dunkers and Germans. That's what the set was. I don't. Is there any? I get it, Oktoberfest, but is there? They actually just said,
what other Germans were in there before Schroeder?
2 Germans. Schroeder.
Schroeder.
No, it was. But they were the only two that couldn't dunk.
No.
Everyone else could dunk. I know, obviously Gary Harris couldn't dunk a lot, but Schroeder can't dunk in game.
I didn't mind that.
The iced out packs just made me laugh too because that was basically a flash set.
It was flash. It was a bad flash set. That's the word.
It.
The flash set with D-Rob, Klay Thompson. We forgot. We had a flash set with D-Rob, Klay Thompson, Trae Young, and Eric Snow at the start of November.
Best
6
set
weeks ago.
so far.
And that was still to this day the best flash set. It was 6 weeks ago. That might have been the best pack drop we got this year, and it was 6 weeks ago. Friday's pack drop was not good. I don't care what anyone says. Kobe was very good. There's no other spectacular cards in that drop, and the budget cards were asked.
If you want to say that the best 2 cards in the game to this day are D-Rob and Klay, I can't really tell you otherwise.
No, I think Kobe's better than Klay, but I'm not gonna. If you want to argue Klay, I'm not gonna argue.
That's what I mean. Probably if I had to pick one, I'd take Kobe. But if you want to say, oh, I like Clay better just because, I don't know, his jump shots
they're
on
1
quick.
and
I don't
2.
know.
Like,
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
gonna
think
get the
there's
same
any
thing done
debate
for you.
there.
It's funny,
I'd take
like
Kobe just
three
to size
Kobe's.
us better, but
Like they released 3 Kobe's and 3 Magic Johnsons.
I remember Dale hated that at the start of the year. He was like, so it's just normal now that we're gonna get 2 versions of every card, and we definitely held
I
true.
still think it's a horrible idea, but now it's like 3 because the 75th cards exist soon. Like,
Like,
it's
oh my
ridiculous.
god!
That's
like,
another
It's
reason why
even more
content's been
annoying
predictable too.
You know,
I'm just saying.
not even. It's not even that I hate the 2 cards in the packs. It is a bit of a money grab, but it's just
not.
annoying for XP. Honestly,
Yeah, it's not. It's
you
not
have
even.
to
I
go
don't even
do it
consider.
twice.
I don't even consider it that much of a money grab. Because the only people that are going to get both are whales, and they're spending the money anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to spend 10 grand on the game, and 2K are trying to exploit the fact that you're spending 10 grand a game, fair enough. Like whatever. That's not on 2K.
I don't really ever have any problems with 2K being quote unquote money hungry or whatever. It's just the gambling aspect of packs that I guess I probably have a problem with. I mean, don't really care if someone wants to because $10,000 isn't that much to some people, you know.
No.
It's really
No,
not.
like I hate the fact that like I'm cool. I don't care. Like it's so funny. People constantly go to me when they see 2K do something that's quote unquote money hungry and be like, "How are you not so angry about this? Are you not against people spending money on the game?" And then they'll like tag me and stuff and be like, "This is a Hall of Fame credit card squad." I'm like, I don't care. Spend your money how you want. Like as long as you're not 17 years old and addicted to packs, then fair enough. Whatever. Like spend your money how you want. But it's just the fact that it is unregulated gambling that kids can do.
Yeah.
Like I'm not against open packs. Heck, I've opened packs on games before. I put in 200 Anthony on Stripple account at the start of the year. Like I'm not against packs. I'm against the fact that there's no legislation that stops kids from doing it. But that's it. Like
it's the same endorphins. It's the same endorphins that go off in your head when you open a pack versus when you hit a slot machine or if you bet on the Pistons. Don't do that. But it's the same endorphins, you know.
And the worst part is like I just saw a comment in the live stream saying 2K are transparent about pack odds. No, they're not.
I mean, last year it said 100% for everything.
Yeah, it said 100%. We are about 3 months away from it saying 100% for everything. We know that's happening, and we also know that the less than 2% odds on limited edition packs we actually were able to calculate it. They made a bit of a mistake, and it was like 0.2%. It was like a 1 in 400 chance.
Whatever happened to those videos you did? Is there?
They weren't getting views, and like, as in, I know 2K don't like me very much, but they're the type of videos that they would hate me for making. Like,
yeah. I mean,
even though, funnily enough, like I'm literally sitting there at the end of these pack codes being like, man, most people are actually hitting above the odds. So like, these odds are definitely not right. I'm like, people are way hitting the odds. Especially signed content creators. Jesus Christ. The signed content creator odds. I was looking and I was like, these guys, I was like, the odds are so crazy. And then I took out the signed content creator odds. And it was like, oh, this is what the odds actually should be.
I don't know what my deal is why I always pull the Christmas Magic. That one's beyond me. That's 2 years in a row I pulled Pink Diamond Magic. I don't pull. Yeah, I pulled the 75th this two, and it's not like I opened packs like that. Both of them were done with.
I went on a 600 pack streak last year without pulling a Dark Matter.
That was mental.
I went from.
What happened to you in? Was it in 20 as well?
20 was 800 packs without pulling the highest tier card in the pack. I went 800 in 2K20 without pulling the highest tier.
That was mental. But there, pulling Goat MJ for fun.
Yeah. But like 21 at the end, in fairness, I did get a free Kawhi Leonard. That was like the only good pull, but it was in like when the game was dead.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You got the invincible Kawhi. I mean, he makes the team.
Yeah, last year was easy because I think Tyson price has gone up on PC because cards are just stupidly cheap now, and like there's no cards going in the millions. And also the guy the egg account that used to just message me on Twitter every week being like, I have 1 million MT on my account. Do you want to open packs with it? Is no longer available. Or no longer
Yeah.
messages me. So I assume Tyson price has gone up. And again, I didn't people were just like me, he's like, oh, he's buying Tyson. I'm like, first of all, not my account. Second of all, I'm not asking him where he gets his MT. I don't care. He's literally just saying, like, 2K can ban him all they want.
I don't
Like,
think
if
they
he's
could.
breaking TOS.
Wasn't his username like Wingdings? Like actual like unreadable characters? Like a lot
No,
of
it's
those PC
Japanese.
accounts?
It's Japanese characters. Oh no, like
okay.
I knew how to do it. Like I used to block my name like that as well.
Yeah.
It's a real easy thing to do on PC. But it was like last year was literally just your man would message me, and obviously prices must be up so because he's not doing it this year. And like everyone was just like, oh, it's his own account, and I'm like, dude, if it was my own account, I'd be playing on it. Like,
I mean,
The real question is, when are you gonna open the like 270 packs that are sitting on your account?
I don't know because contract packs are gold dust in like April. Like I don't want to put too many contracts on somebody.
You can just send the stocks to the auction house, but I don't know how much of a premium space you need in the auction block.
I don't know. There'll be a stage where I don't even care. Like, have you seen my like auction outcomes? How many Wong GGs and Jonathan Isaacs I have?
Yeah.
I bought them all for like 1,000. They're going for like 3K now. I think I might start selling them.
yeah, I have
Stonks.
a load of Jonathan Isaac sitting on my burner account right now that I probably should dump. I don't plan on plugging in my PlayStation until after New Year's. I'm home at my parents' house now, and my goal is to not plug in the PlayStation until after then. And the way that 2K is going, I think that they're only going to help with that cause by dropping cards like they did today.
Like the scary thing is that you can actually stream. You could stream 2K without like you have this type of stream. We'll probably do another podcast right after. I'm trying to think whatever days we're free after Christmas break. We'll probably stream another podcast during that time. But like you can literally just say, screw it, I'm going live on stream reacting to iconic 2K videos and react to things like Ty talking about Bugs Bunny and shit like that, and you'd still get decent viewers. Like you don't actually. That's this thing is like I think I said it last year, Dale. I'm like more people watch me sit in the menus than watch me play 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top menu simulator streamer in the 2K category.
Yeah.
I mean, right now is a great time if you're a newer creator and you want to like start to grow. I was on Twitch today and there was nobody live on my team besides 1 or 2 people throughout the day because even the creators are like, dude, I can't.
Yeah, everyone's leaving, bro. Like Mac got his logo and he just dipped out. He said, "I'm out of here." I ain't seen him live in a hot minute.
He's gonna wager his coworker for like
he's been
6
I
people-
think he's been doing a lot.
I will always say it, and I'm like, people complaining, oh, the My Team community's not growing. People are there, like people don't really care with My Team. It's fair enough. Like it is partially because people don't care, but people aren't making people care. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Like I've said it to them all. Like if you're complaining about not growing and you play a bunch of wagers off camera, and you might stream one wager where you're barely talking on stream and you're not growing, it's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Why wouldn't you? Why aren't you uploading them onto YouTube? Why are you not calling people out? Why aren't you reacting to other people's wagers and making that type of content? Why aren't you saying something in that reaction that might spark their fans to watch your video, get really angry and hype a wager between two of you guys, like what the IRL basketball people are doing? That's the way wagers should work on this game, and people don't. Because obviously everyone takes everything too personal in this community, and that's a big reason. Like there is zero collaboration. Like there's a reason why, like there are reason why people aren't growing is they're trying to do it by themselves, and it's impossible to do when there's so many people set in stone as the like sources for news and stuff. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Like it's easy. The blueprint is there. I wish there were more people playing in wages. I could react. I could say crap in videos. Then they could call me out. Then suddenly there's a game against me that people will view, and then people will react to that stuff like that. I would love to see stuff like that. It's just, no one does it. Like Isaac does a bit of it. Like I've even gone on to Isaac being like, look, every time you're playing these wagers, like he's like looking to grow on YouTube. I'm like, he literally hit record when you see like Splash versus somebody else. Upload it onto YouTube. And kind of like make it the thing where okay, he's suddenly the watch party for wagers person. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares. Like, nobody enjoys watching. Nobody. There are 100 to 200 people that enjoy watching two competitive players play. If those players are not named Ty, Debo, and Splash. No
And
offense.
you have to be like top 10 to top 20 too, as well. You have to be like top 10 to top 20. And no one cares about the dollar amount either when it comes to viewership, because when I used to wager all through 21, it didn't matter if it was $5 or $200. It mattered who I was playing is what the views would come for. If I was wagering someone no one knew for $100, it'd get less views than if I was wagering Mac for 5 gifted, or like whatever those kind of wagers I did last year. You know, like
we always say that, but like the biggest MyTEAM wager outside of like the cash Jesser flight, the people have just kind of outgrown MyTEAM. The biggest MyTEAM wager ever was Ty wagering a picture of Allen Iverson on his court and me wagering my beard.
Exactly. No one, the viewers don't care about the money. They care about the story behind it.
I know what my wager is going to be this year. I don't know. I need to put it in a situation where maybe I can win, because this would be awful. But you can buy a lordship for somebody. A wager. The loser has to buy a lordship for the winner and refer to them on Twitter as Lord Blank for the remainder of 2K22.
What is a lordship?
You buy them like 1 square foot of land, and they're technically lord. They're technically a lord.
I don't know. Are you talking about? I know you can do it in Scotland.
Yeah, but like you don't have to be in Scotland. Anyone can become a lord. Like that is the wager. Like, I'm not wagering a beard this year. I've already done that. Like I'm gonna put it in a way where I can win, because I do not want to be calling someone like Ty Lord Ty the rest of the year on Twitter.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of like that Family Guy episode where like Peter gets like his own like he like secedes from the country, and it's like Petertopia or whatever it is.
Oh,
Have you guys ever seen that one?
Yeah, I remember that very well.
Yeah, and like I'm glad. Yeah, like I'm absolutely glad. Like, I don't care that I mention it on this stream, because people will forget. Like, that wager's not happening until it's peak season. To like, if there are days where I'm pulling in 250,000 views a day, that's kind of the time where I'm like, okay, let's do this. But yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. A lordship wager with somebody.
A lordship wager. That's actually crazy. Someone has to, like,
at the same time,
put some handicaps. If that ends up being against Ty,
of course there's gonna be handicaps. But like, can people like? But I don't understand why there's none of that stuff. People are like, oh, let's consistently wager for $5, for $50 to $100, and we're just gonna keep wagering the same people for the same amount of money over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. It's a definition of insanity. And that's the problem with the MyTEAM community. It's the same thing over and over again. Like, people are going to be like, oh, my content's the same thing over and over again. But it wasn't when I started growing. I tried out a million different ideas. I found out what worked and kept doing it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is there's a group of people who actually just, that's what they enjoy and love to do. You know, some people just, that's their passion, is to wager on this game. But if you're trying to wager with the purpose of growing, which a lot of other people also do, you gotta do it the way you're talking about. You know, hype it up, like, make it a whole event. You know.
Yeah, and like it's so easy just to start this off. Like, I remember I even said it to I can't remember who I said it to. I think it was like Kills and White. Like, it's so easy. Just the whole thing can start off with an eyes, or let's just say hypothetical situation. Ty plays Splash in a game. Isaac decides to do a YouTube video reacting to that. Isaac says something in that video. Like, obviously, this has to, like, nothing that will actually piss somebody off, but something that's enough of a shot that they know it's a joke. But then suddenly, Ty reacts to Isaac reacting. Here's what that is. Ty goes at Isaac. Suddenly, a Ty versus Isaac wager. And suddenly, like, Splash watches that. Or Splash can react to that and say something. And suddenly, it's a back and forth between those three. Someone else gets themselves involved in that. And it becomes this kind of like big thing. But that's the type of thing that needs to happen. It just isn't. Like, I get it. Like, Ty, Splash, they have their audiences. They're good. Isaac has his audience. But like, people don't grow, and there's a reason for it.
A lot of it does have to do with the game, though, too. It's
also got to be good enough to actually hold your own against those people. Is what you? What's going on? Having some technical difficulties.
Up fact.
What happened?
What's happening? I think his internet might have cut out.
Did we just lose DBG? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes back soon.
Alright, it's the Dale and Jacob podcast.
The Dale and Jacob show, I guess. I just find it hilarious. One nub. Okay. I find it hilarious. His last words were, "I'm fecked." And he left.
Oh, and he's back.
Man.
There we go.
Please work.
I mean, it's a trend, we gotta keep it running. I think
My internet's.
every episode we've ever
Wait,
had.
there we go.
been-
We're back.
You're back.
And it
I can't
looks
believe that you're the one with
technical
internet difficulties.
difficulty.
Yeah, I thought if anyone would go down, it would be me here in the middle of nowhere on the world's
Yeah,
worst
just-
internet, one step above dial-up.
Yeah. But
How
where did
did
I
you guys
put out?
I don't know. We're just talking about wagers or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what part of my big rant about why nobody's growing with wages did I cut out on.
I think you pretty much finished up what you were gonna say, and I was gonna say a lot of it's also on the game though, because it's so hard to grow during this point of the year. I mean, historically, this is normally when it picks
No,
up, but it hasn't yet.
I agree with that, but nobody's changed. People are doing the same things every year, as in like it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Like people aren't like there aren't really going to be that many new people because they're just doing the same thing.
That's why I get so happy to find like some new people that I'm like, yeah, this guy's putting in the work. It makes me happy to see other people like, trying, because it's not very often you find those people in the MyTEAM community. We get a couple new ones every year, and then half of those fizzle out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anyone that's really done something new? Obviously, there was quite a bit of your content, Jacob, that was different, but that's really been it.
Since then,
I don't even know.
not really.
I don't even
I'd have
know.
to
Like,
think really, really hard.
like I'm just waiting for someone to overtake the likes of me, Henry. Like I'm looking at views. It's a matter of when, not if, Ty starts overtaking me in views, and I'll be perfectly happy with that. Like Ty's Ty, he's the best player in the world. It's gonna happen. Like that'll happen in the next year or two. But like I'm shocked that there's been nobody since like Jesser and those guys that, except for like a period with Young Narrow, that have been consistently pulling in like 100k views.
I think half of the reason is the people that are genuinely talented enough to be able to come in and make that big of a mark and that big of a splash because their content is that good, realizes that if they're going to put forward that type of effort, they should put it towards a different game, different idea, whatever it might be. Because
Yeah, I agree.
at the end of the day, like, they see people like you and Henry at the top of what you guys do, or they could try and go be Cash or Aiden, or where the ceiling is, where you're at's obviously not a bad spot,
right.
but the ceiling for them is like transcending the internet and being like almost a household name,
Yeah, you're right. Like so basically, like the people that would be talented enough to blow up off MyTEAM can see straight away there's no point going into MyTEAM. Yeah, you're on the money with that. You're on the money. Like the likes of, I reckon if they were a couple of years younger, there's a 0% chance that like Jesser does MyTEAM. There's a 0% chance that Kuda, who's probably Kuda is the most talented person to have ever been in the MyTEAM community, and I think 90% of people that know Kuda will agree with that. Like Adam is the most talented person to ever be in the MyTEAM community. He would have done something else earlier. I know he drifted off into other things, but he would have done something else earlier.
Yeah, that's kind of my assumption.
You went around. Was Kuda at all around? Would you know who Kuda is at all, Dale?
Nope, never heard of him. Well, I'm doing some research right now, but I can't even find him. How is Kuda spelled?
Kuda.
Kuda.
He used to watch my videos back before he started.
Nothing even comes up.
Yep.
Nothing comes up.
He used to watch my videos way back then, like before in like 2012, 2K11, 2K12 or whatever.
Yeah, like he was so talented. Like as in he won the first ever 2K league as starting point guard for the Knicks. Like he was one of the best players in the world. He was unbelievably good editor, unbelievably creative. Made all his thumbnails, probably the best thumbnail designer in the community. Was like he's now like a fashion photographer, and he works as the like, I don't know exactly what his title is, but he's like part of like the creative team at 2Hype now. And he's doing a lot of other things outside of like, well, he's obviously just gave up MyTEAM 2K19, but he's the most talented person to ever pick up this, well, to ever make a video on the game mode.
There's always people like that are just good at everything they touch, and it can almost be frustrating if you're a normal person. We all know somebody like that where you go down to the arcade or something, and no matter what game they touch, they're the best at that. You know, they're the best at every single thing they do. It's just extraordinarily talented people.
Yeah, I'm not like that at all. Like it took me years to get decent at 2K, and I'm terrible at every other video game.
Yeah, I gotta work hard for everything I've ever gotten to, pretty much. I haven't been a natural at anything ever. Natural at nothing.
And hand-eye coordination. The only sport I was a natural in was tennis. Like I was very, very like I would take a year off tennis and still compete with some of the best players in the country my age. But that was the only sport that like my feet were bad. Like my footwork, my quickness is horrific. But in terms of like hand-eye coordination, I was good, and that was about it. That was the only thing I was naturally good at.
I guess you could say I was naturally good at running too, but if I wasn't, there'd be a problem because 85% of the men in my family also ran track in college. Like it's a genetic thing, not a talent thing. It's well,
you were long distance, weren't you?
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was like, I definitely would have beat you over 100 meters anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know what I would have clocked at like 100 because like the shortest that I ever even like trained for was like 200, and I just didn't care at that. Shortest race I ever actually ran was the 400.
What's your time in 4?
Like 57, I think, or something was the best I ever did. Like nothing fast.
Boom, 6 seconds faster. 51. I was like, I ran 4 hurdles in 59 without even really knowing how to jump a hurdle.
Yeah. I don't even know because like I don't even remember. I guess it probably was faster than that because that must have been when I was running for like my splits, because now that I think about it, my 800 times was like 204, 205, which wasn't even fast for the 800. My bread and butter was mile and longer, but I
ran 8 one time in like a multi event, which is kind of like it wasn't a full decathlon because you were too young. It was like 6 events, but I was like looking into it to qualify to make the national team going into the 800. Like I won the shot, was like one of the top like 3 in the 200, but I was so bad at hurdles and high jump that I like needed to get sub 2 in the 800. And like I was not an 800. I never ran 800 in my life. I ran the first lap in 53 seconds. And because I was keeping up with the guy who was winning the whole thing, who was like a 155 800 meter runner, and kept up with him and just took off at the end of the lap. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling good. I get to about 600 meters in. I ended up running 230. I couldn't run anymore after 600. I was like, I felt like I was going so hard. I was trying so hard, and I just looked to my right, and just one after another passed me. I like somewhere. I was like 230. It was 230 something, and I'm like, I ran 53 in the first thing. I was still doing fine up to 600, and then it was just, and I still think I'm going fast, and I see people going past me. I'm like, oh, I made a bad idea, and it took me. I think I ran the last 100 in like 23 seconds. Something stupid like that. I'm like, oh dear God, this is bad.
What was your record for the egg and spoon race at the school sports day? That's the numbers that matter.
We didn't have a school sports day.
We had the egg spoon race. The thing where you have to like keep the egg balance on your spoon and like walk.
Yeah,
we definitely did that.
All my schools had sports days. Even school Katrina did when I was in like 1st and 2nd year.
Our very first sports day was the year I was in 6th year, and 6 years didn't do sports day.
Actually, now that I realize it, all my all-state track certificates are hanging up on my wall still here. All-state and track, baby. It's probably my only accomplishment that I'll ever be able to share on this podcast because nothing else worked out for me.
I got I got 3 or 4 national golds somewhere in my house for a sport that I was okay. Like, as in, nobody threw shot put in Ireland. There was an event, like, have you ever heard about the weight throw?
No, what is
Do you have
that?
that in America?
No,
It's
we
like
have shot put, discus, and javelin. It's the only throwing sports
it's
that I
like
know
a
of.
it's like a 56-pound weight. It's like a kettlebell almost, but it's like hanging on a chain from the handle, and you can't move. You have to have one hand on it, and you have to like swing it back and forth and just launch it. It's like 56 pounds, and I'm a 2-time national champion in that.
What's like a good
Because
throw for that? Like 10 yards? Maybe like.
I don't even
How about the
know.
hammer throw? Is that what you're
No,
talking about?
hammer throw is like spin around. This is like literally like a kettlebell swing, and you have to throw it eventually. But I think I threw 7 and a bit meters, but it was like the other 2 kids that were like it was under 20s. The other guys were 15 years old in it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll throw this. And then the others were barely able to move it, and they were like, oh, we saw that only one person entered, so we just wanted an easy national medal. 2 like one was a cross country runner who just wanted a national medal. Double the distance of second. And I'm like, that's where my 2 national individual goals have come from. Like beating guys that were like cross country runners as a thrower.
Yeah, that's crazy. You guys ever watch like the strongman competition where they like have the like dudes that are like the size of a house, like
strongest man.
Yeah, they pick up like a car or whatever. They got like a car. They're like walking with a car all big. Like I always got a kick out of that growing up. It's like just so unconventional. Like it's one thing to watch like professional like weightlifters or whatever, but like when you're watching like these dudes that are the size of a tank try and pick up cars and walk with it, it's just like, what is this?
I feel like some of those things they lift have to be so bad for your joints. Like when they lift up those big boulders, like that cannot be healthy.
I'm just saying, like, am I the only person who's like doesn't care if they lift heavy or not, but they just want it to look like they lift heavy? Like I would rather have people think I lift a lot than actually lift a lot. I don't care how much I lift.
Got to tactically buy a few
of those
spurt in
my life where I started chasing
weights.
The fake weights.
No, go full on
do that.
Full on FPS Kyle on it.
Start taking THT or whatever. TRT.
Oh, TRT.
I
wonder how many years he's taken off his life. Like he's just like, oh, I get constant blood tests, I'm healthier. I'm like, they all get constant blood tests, the bodybuilders, and they all drop dead. And they're like 40.
Yeah. There's definitely a weird thing about people who do that. I mean, why wouldn't you just want to see what you can do naturally? You know what I mean? Like most like men, like well-abled men, like why not just see what you can do naturally? Because the human body limit, I mean, the only thing that's going to restrict you is your genetics and your age. Like why not just see what you can do naturally? I mean, you can get pretty far natural. It's like, why do you really, really need that? You know?
Yeah. As someone who is in the process, well, not process, January. Once I move into the new house, cooking for myself and everything, I'm still cooking for myself right now, where I am in charge of buying every bit of food I get. Goal is lose 20 pounds by March and get into somewhat decent shape. As someone who's out of shape, I can't really say anything.
Forget flight in June. Wait till y'all see DBG in March.
I mean,
PG March. I'm definitely gonna do it wrong. I'm just gonna look like I'm just gonna look like I'm fading away or something.
I've met people that have taken like
that Conor McGregor featherweight look going for you.
I saw Conor got jacked, or like he's like big now, bigger. Hey,
how can he fight at that weight? He's at least 200. He's at least 200. I mean, how can he fight at that weight?
You'd assume he just cut it all, right?
He says he'll rock up to the middleweight division all the time.
It's hard to cut that much weight. Like he's so big.
Did you see the Jake Paul knockout, DBG? I'm assuming you did.
Yeah. Do you think he would have beat Tommy Fury?
Yes. Tommy Fury's a horrible boxer.
I know, but so is Tyron Woodley.
I just want to say to that one guy who called me an idiot in the comments months ago when me and DBG talked about the first Tyron and Jake fight, and I said Jake will win. Fuck you. Because I am proved right. I am proved right.
Well, the thing
apparently
about
I didn't know what I'm talking about.
they-
Well, there you go. There you
They're
go.
not that,
He got
like,
knocked out.
Like, they're not that bad fighters. Like, as in, if they wouldn't be Olympic level amateurs, but they'd be okay level amateurs.
Well, where do you draw
Jake's
the line?
just
Because it
smart in that he
started
fights people.
with Deji, and then he went to Nate Robinson, and it's like, okay, don't fight YouTubers anymore, fight professional athletes. Now a professional athlete gets slumped. All right, fight a fighter. Ben Askren comes out there. He gets laid out. Okay, don't fight Ben Askren. Ben Askren doesn't count. How about so-and-so? Like, where does he finally meet his, like, maker? Like,
It
when
would
does
have been
that
Tommy
finally
Fury.
happen?
Like, the Tommy Fury, if he had knocked out Tommy Fury, like, he suddenly becomes legitimate. Like, not like a world championship contender, but he becomes a legitimate boxer. He hasn't fought a boxer yet. Let's take that into account. He has not fought someone
Now
who
he's
is
back to
who's a
back
boxer.
to fight, calling out UFC stars. So, you know,
Who is he? He
wants
makes
the
more money doing
Diaz,
that.
He wants the Masvidals. He wants the McGregors. So,
If I'm Connor, if I wouldn't fight him if I'm Connor, because Jake Paul's that much bigger than Connor. I know Connor's a way better boxer, but Jake Paul's so much bigger.
How tall is
I
Connor?
think Connor
5'8",
would beat
5'9"?
him, to be honest.
Connor's
Jake
about
Paul's only
5'8", but
6'1".
Jake Paul's like 6'2".
And, like, people will say,
Connor
like,
would beat him.
Jake or Ben Askren
Nate
had
would
no
probably-
chance ever. That was funny. Yeah.
Nate would probably lose on points, but he wouldn't get knocked out.
but the
You
thing
think-
about it is people said that he wouldn't even beat Nate Robinson.
That
He
was
wasn't even a
I
favorite.
tweeted
I
out
don't
before
know
that
what
fight.
was
I
going
tweeted
on
out before
there.
that
I
fight
don't
being
know who
not
who
only it was something like
thought
not
Nate was
only
gonna
is
stand a chance.
it was like not only is it crazy to say that Nate Robinson's going to knock out Jake Paul, it is a danger to put Nate Robinson in the ring with Jake Paul because he hasn't sparred once. And everyone's like, "Oh no, Nate Robinson's a professional athlete." It's like,
Yeah, like
yeah, but it's like putting him in an ice hockey rink and saying, "Go come up against some like hotshot 18-year-old ice hockey person." Like, it's not that different. Basketball to ice hockey is no different than basketball to freaking boxing. Nate Robinson didn't spar once. Nate Robinson was punching bags. That was his training. He punched punching bags for 3 weeks and then tried to fight Jake Paul.
Yeah.
It was a danger. That fight should not have been allowed to happen. That was a danger to Nate Robinson.
I'd say it's just more of an under-calculation, people assuming what Jake Paul could do, though, because people thought that he was going to lose to Comedy Shorts Gamer or whatever.
He almost did lose to Deji. He almost did. But, like, that was neither of them had any training. Jake Paul has basically been training nonstop for the last 3 years for boxing. That fight was in, like, August 2018, and he has trained almost nonstop. Like,
yeah,
he knocked out Joe Weller
for that. Then, whether you hate him or not, like, you know, he's came a long way from being not taken seriously at all. The people saying he needs to go box real boxers. You know?
Yeah, like, he's like, the only reason like McGregor has a good chance of beating him. The only reason McGregor's a much better boxer. Like, McGregor was a boxer. Like, people don't realize that. They're like, oh, McGregor's a UFC fighter. No, McGregor was a boxer, became a UFC fighter. Like, McGregor, unless the size advantage is too much, will beat Jake Paul. He's a better boxer. But, like, there are not that many UFC fighters that, like, would Jake Paul he'd beat Khabib in a boxing match.
I don't know. Khabib fought bears. It's hard to say. That's that man built different. I don't know.
He did knock.
Have you ever seen the way Khabib tries, like, throws punches? He has no form. He didn't knock him out. He knocked him down.
Knocked him down. Yeah.
Know,
but like it doesn't matter.
Overhand from nowhere. The man throws, like, he comes at you like this with his arms out wide. He's like, yeah. Fucking mental.
Have I sent you the bear wrestling video?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Where it's like the Russian it's not even a funny video, it's just the Russian commentating. This is bear. This is a friendly bear. These are the fighting bears. As you can see, he is very friendly with the bear. If he swings at the bear will kill him. But he knows what not to do to the bear. But it's like so like nonchalant, basically saying, "Oh, if he makes a wrong move, the bear's gonna kill him."
I just don't know, like, what happens if you accidentally like get like in a weird position and swing an elbow and hit the bear, all of a sudden you're just R.I.P. like what?
Don't fight a bear.
Yeah,
There's a simple solution. Don't fight the bear.
I just don't understand that process, but I guess them dudes over there just see life differently.
They're Russian. They're Russians. They are Russians. Do you remember all the old Soviet Russian
Dagestanis,
memes? Like how Kyle Myers became so big.
I mean, I don't know why, but when we were all younger, like that stereotypical hardcore Russian was like part of like popular culture. It was like one of the main trending things to like pretend like you were as a joke for like 3 or 4 years during that time. I don't know why. Was it maybe like influenced through Call of Duty games or something? I don't know, but it was a big deal to put on a Russian accent or make a joke about it. Like that was like a really popular thing for a long time.
There was like the in Soviet Russia memes, and it was like in Soviet Russia and just something ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was a thing back then. But like, yeah, that's mad. Like, but it was like every villain in a movie was always Russian, and they were always the most badass people ever. And it was like,
thought it was funny how they'd squat. Do they call it like the Soviet squat or whatever?
What is it? Not the Soviet squat. Is it the Slavic?
Yeah. I don't know why that was always hilarious to me.
Slavics like Serbia and them, isn't it? Yugoslavia, like.
Yeah, there'd always be those memes of like, I guess it was the Slavic squat, and they'd be like wearing like the Adidas track suits, like squatting with like a bottle of vodka. Like,
yeah, I can't say much. I'm currently wearing an Adidas tracksuit, or what am I talking about? Adidas. It's Adidas. His name is Adi Dassler. It's Adidas. There is no correct. There is no both ways are correct. His name is Adi Dassler, and it's named after him. It's Adidas.
You know what's funny too is people like my uncles and my dad call it that. So it must have been like something that had happened like over the past 30 years that has changed the pronunciation to Adidas. Because if you ask, like that's like what my uncle will say. Oh, you got some new Adidas sneakers?
It's Adidas. It's Adidas.
Yeah,
there's no Adidas.
I'm always gonna call it Adidas. Like that's just the way.
But
it's
it's not his name. He's not Adi Dassler. He's Adi Dassler. He's not Adi Dassler.
Some people say Nike. Some say Nike.
Yeah, but that's not a name. That's not a person's name. That's not a person's name.
Man, doesn't matter. All these brands were Nazi made anyway. I think.
Okay, that guy.
I think Adidas.
I mean, he is German. Adidas or
I think it was
Dassler.
Adidas. I want to say. I can't remember.
Okay, let's not talk about that because as someone from Ireland calling it Adidas, I've never heard an Irish person in my life calling it Adidas.
Really?
I've always called it Adidas.
Yeah, it's
not. That's surprising
it's
because like
Europeans, because it's there's so much advertising Adidas.
Huh.
Like I kind of get in America, but because so many people, most people in America call it Adidas, but like yeah, no, it's Adidas here for most.
Pretty sure all my friends even say Adidas.
Really?
What about if you're saying like, what if you're talking about like the Yeezys? Would someone say Adidas Yeezys over there?
Yeah.
Interesting. Like I said, like my for whatever reason, like my uncles and my dad call it that, so I don't know when that changed. They're all old, but that's what they call it.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I just remember that being a whole debate, and someone ended the people, like there was two sides. Literally, it was a European and an American. American arguing it was Adidas, and like both are correct. And literally, someone just went, "No, like it's the guy's name. Like it's Adi Dassler."
Where'd the name Nike come from? I've read the Shoe Dog book or whatever. It was not Shoe Dog. What was it? The book about the dude who made it. I forget where they got the name from though.
Yeah.
Was it Oregon? I don't know.
Didn't the guy who made the Nike logo only get like $50 too?
I mean, he drew a tick.
It's the most iconic tick in the world.
Yeah, I know. Like the guy who made the FaZe Clan logo didn't get paid. Like
yeah, I guess
some random fan, someone tweeted out, "Oh, we want a logo in like Batman Begins font with an F and a C," and some fan sent him the FaZe Clan logo, and they used it. Like they didn't ask for it. they're like, oh, we're considering this as the logo, and someone made it like 15, or not 15, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So
how
many-
Say is
copyright
really the
goes with
Batman
that.
logo. It doesn't even strike me.
No, it's
as
Batman font. I think is it Batman Begins font, or some sort of Batman
Actually,
font?
no, yeah, I can kind of.
It's an F. It's either it's a backwards F and a C combined onto each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is that I'm happy that I live in an era where shoes are actually a real thing, because from the sounds of it,
What?
like even 50 years, I mean, like by shoes being a real thing, like 50 years ago, someone in the chat mentions like Steve Prefontaine, like those track athletes back then were like running around with like cardboard taped around their feet. Like, it was like the same thing for basketball, like those original Chuck Taylors, like hooping in those.
Yeah, they
It's
used
a
to run
wonder
around
more
in
of
the
them.
chucks.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's a wonder more of them weren't blowing out their knees before the time they turned 25.
Yeah,
Because
I think
unpopular opinions. Players were not nearly as athletic and not nearly as fast back then. I don't care what people like to say, but they weren't landing with as
because
much
of the
force as they
chucks,
are now.
man.
They weren't landing with
Because
as
of the
much force as
chucks,
they are now.
those chucks were holding them back. Converse
Like, I
are
think
some of the most uncomfortable pairs of shoes I've ever worn.
Like the
play
Jordan 1,
sports
I've
in
tried to
them.
play in a pair of Jordan 1s before. They're like,
They're
I can't
not
even
meant
run
to
in a pair of
be
Jordan
played
1s.
in. There's how many games did he actually play in those? Like 2?
A
They
season.
got banned or whatever, didn't they? And they kept
No,
fining
the
them for
airships
wearing
got
them.
banned. I think they're called airships.
Those are
But it was
horrible
like the Jordan
shoes
1
for
was never
sports,
banned.
like.
They released it and said this was banned by the NBA. The truth of that story, the Jordan 1s were never banned by the NBA. It was a marketing thing.
Good
It
marketing, I
worked
guess.
so well because people still to this day say his shoes were banned even though they never were. It worked unbelievably well.
Yeah.
See,
Even when they launch now, like they'll launch the quote unquote banned colorway.
yeah.
They launched one like last year or the year before, and it said like banned on it somewhere.
It had an X, I think.
Sure.
Had an X written on it.
Next out. I'm happy that I got to experience the tail end of the pump up shoes era. I always thought that was pretty cool. The Reebok pumps and all that kind of stuff. I owned a pair.
I found it so uncomfortable when it was pumps. I found the pumps so uncomfortable.
I thought they were nice, but the Iversons I had, there was like the end of this era because the original Reebok pumps where you like manually had to like do it yourself. Like I wasn't around for that. The only pair I ever owned that were the pump up ones, they were like the Iverson 4s or something like that, and they had a button on them, and you would turn the button on, like just switch the button over, and then it would like pump up around your foot. It was kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a pair just running shoes that were like that. It was the twist thing, wasn't it? Like the twist and like the ankle, and a twist and everything just kind of closed in your foot.
Yeah, there was a lot of gimmicks like that. Like I actually got these right here. Let me see.
Do you remember the
what were the
shoes with the spinners? The shoes with the spinners in the
spree wells. The spree wells.
Yeah.
I had those too. These are like old T-Max shoes I have, and they have this thing on the back. I don't know what T-Max these are. These are Adidas T-Max, but they have this thing on the back that like you can break down and like adjust them here. Like I don't know what was up with all these gimmicks they had back in the day. Like every shoe had to have a gimmick back then. I don't know.
Do you remember the Jordan 22s where you would take out the insole and there was like a different level of like cushion in the heel that you would like swap out the heel cushions?
Yeah.
Like they all had gimmicks. Or what was it? There was the Jordan 2010s or something similar, or 2009s or something similar.
Now you can get the what are they? The adapts? Is that what they're called? Those basketball
Self-lacing.
shoes? You know, you can lace
That's
them
just
up
a
from your
gimmick.
phone. 100%. I don't think I've seen any NBA player wear them unless it was for marketing purposes.
They wore the original ones. The original ones wore like Tatum and Kuzma and stuff wore the original ones.
Did they?
Yeah, from like 95 to 2006 or something. It was like if you dropped a shoe, it had to have a gimmick. It had to have a spinner or a tightener or a pump or something.
I mean, they had to separate the like real shoes from the $15 ones. The Starberries.
The Starberries. Yeah. I mean,
remember,
I like the Starberries.
I'm just gonna say, what are your shoes that have stood the test of time really, really well? Like, as in, like you could wear them now, and they're still cool. For me, I think outside of the quote unquote retro Jordans, I think the 23s have stood the test of time really well. I think they look really good nowadays. I think the LeBron 4s have stood the test of time. I think they're so weird, but the Adidas Kobe's, they're like moon shoes, have stood the test of time. And I'm trying to think of, is there any other ones? I mean, the up tempos. Like, I can't pull off up tempos, but I mean, up tempos wear basketball shoes.
Cool.
They've done all right.
Yeah,
Absolutely hate up tempos so much.
I mean, I can't pull them off, but when someone can pull off up tempos, they look really cool.
I think that it's pretty cool how like these LeBron 4s, you're not wrong, because just the other day on my stream we were looking at the LeBron 2s I used to own, and like my whole chat was clowning them because they don't look good. Where these 4s look pretty decent. I honestly just think that all of the Kobe, even the early ones, like the Kobe 4s, the Kobe 3s even, not the 3s too much, but like all of the earlier Kobe shoes after the 3s, I still think are like prime time basketball shoes if I could find them, and it makes me really upset now that they're almost impossible to get. The Kobe 4s, the Kobe 5s, the Kobe 6s, everything between the Kobe 4s and the 8s are like my favorite basketball shoes to this day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what
100%.
I own. I own a pair of 9s. I own the like black and gold 9s with the high ankles, the like Victory, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And I own the Mamba Day Protros.
Yeah. I always just loved the Kobe's. Like, loved them. I'd always practice them because we had to have team shoes where we had hyper dunks or whatever, but they were perfect for hooping. And I
There'll be
don't know if I
more.
would still like them. I don't know if I'd still like them because of the low tops. I was 40 pounds lighter then, so I don't know if I'd still like them, but back then, that's what I liked.
I will be shocked if Vanessa doesn't sign some sort of deal with Nike. I think they probably lowballed her, and she's just looking to make Kobe's brand like Jordan. Like, in a way, Jordan has like his own kind of subsection Nike, trying to make Kobe a subsection, which he should.
Yeah, and I think personally for me, there's only like 3 or 4 different retro Jordans I like a lot. And there's probably only like 2 pairs of retros that I'd even ever think about playing basketball in. So I'd be pretty happy if they did, because I would like to get my hands on some more Kobe's.
I'm trying to think what Jordans I like. I like the low ones. I hate the highs for the ones.
I don't know
if
how
I was-
you can hate the high ones. They
I can't pull them off.
iconic.
I can't pull them off.
Even
Like,
with
it all
jeans?
depends on what I wear.
Even with jeans?
Sorry?
Like jeans?
In
or-
Ireland, it's hard. It's hard to pull off high tops in Ireland. It really is. Trying to think what else. What other Jordans? I love the one lows. Like, I love the look of like the 4s and the 5. I say not the 3, like the 4s. I love the look of. I just can't really pull them off. I'd probably attempt to pull off the 15s. They look so stupid.
Yeah, look at the 15s.
They look so stupid that I try to pull them off.
Oh, they look like I've seen these. They look like a purse pretty much.
Yeah.
I'd say like the easiest ones to pull off, like anyone could wear a pair of 11s. Like the 11s are just classic. Like that's the 11. When I think of Jordans, the first shoe I think of is like the 11 Concords. That's like the first Jordan I think of. My favorites are the 6s though. I don't know why. I think it's because I just randomly fell in and stumbled to owning like 3 pairs when I was like 17. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'm a 6 guy now.
Yeah, I'm all on the 20. Sure, I've said it to you. I'm all on the 23s hype train. Like, 23 is the pinnacle of Jordan.
I'm right there with you, man. I had a pair too. My dad thought those were gonna be the grails. He thought those were gonna be they were my 8th grade year. He got them for me. He thought they were just gonna be the most coveted Jordan you could ever own. They never were.
Yeah, even though they're Jordan himself, like there's a reason why when his kid opened the shoe store, they sold the 23s. Like, I'm pretty sure they're like his favorite as well, of like the retros.
They look good.
Like,
man.
Jordan,
the pattern
Jordan only
on it looks
wears
cool.
like the original ones, the black ones. I have a pair of them, and I have the stealth ones, which are like stealth ones aren't great. They're kind of like white, gray, and like black on the heel. But like, man, that's still to this day, that is a beautiful Jordan. I don't care what anyone says. Just because it doesn't have historical value does not mean this is not a beautiful shoe.
Yeah, the ones I had were the Midnight Navies, and they look clean to me. Still,
Which ones were the Midnight Navies?
They're just like mostly white with like the blue trim, navy blue trim.
Okay, yeah. The
Um,
lows for them look awful though. I will say
not
the
even
low
sure.
23 are some of the worst looking shoes ever.
Oh,
Were they the ones you
yeah.
had?
I didn't have the lows. I didn't even know those existed. I don't think they look that crazy different. I mean, they're different, but no. Yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer the highs.
Yeah, they are. I will die on that hill that the 23s are the most underappreciated Jordan shoe ever, and it's not even close.
Some of the colorways I'm looking at are really nice. Like this, like baby blue one's actually pretty like sick.
The like gray and
Some of
baby
the
blue one.
colorways look
The
horrible
the
though.
pictures don't do
See,
them
this-
justice because the pattern lining on them is like you can actually feel it. It's like real stitching.
It's Jordan's DNA. You do know that, don't you? Like if you got the like original batches, that pattern is
Jordan's DNA.
Jordan's DNA, and then on the tongue is Jordan's fingerprint. Like,
Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I
yeah,
think the pictures don't do them justice, and they're very underappreciated.
Who was it that
anytime
made a shoe colorway with like a drop of their blood or something? Didn't
It was
someone do
Lil
that?
Nas X,
Lil
wasn't
Nas
it?
X.
No,
Shout
I
out
know
Cabrillo.
he did that. He did that with like it was like 10 pairs of Nikes, but I'm pretty sure there was more widely available one. Maybe I'm imagining it though. That someone did.
Oh
I could have
God,
sworn
no.
someone else did it.
God, no, a drop of their blood.
Is that legal? How do you even? I don't think you can sell.
No, it's not. You can't sell something with your blood in it.
No.
Like you actually you
no
can.
way.
Like maybe on international waters or something you could transfer it, but you can't sell something with your blood in it.
You can sell your
Imagine.
bathwater though.
Yes, you can sell your bathwater, and that has been well established by Belle Delphine.
I still can't believe that's a thing.
That's a really common thing in that industry. It's just Belle Delphine was the first person in like a more mainstream section.
Sorry,
of
it
the
wasn't.
section of that
It
industry.
wasn't shoes. I had to Google it, but I knew it was something. It was Tony Hawk.
Did he sell?
Put his blood
Where's
in
what?
skateboards.
He
blood in
sold his
skateboards.
blood in a skateboard.
Like a big, massive amount. It was like a drop of blood in the skateboards. But yeah, selling for like $500.
Oh my god.
They sold out.
Oh
I mean, I could
my
see it.
God.
Like, I'm sure like skater kids probably went crazy for that. Like, dude, I got
A
Tony
drop of
Hawk's
his blood.
blood. This is sick.
A drop of his blood. Like, oh my god.
The skater
is what
kids
it is,
probably
but,
love that.
Yeah, do we want to talk a little bit about my team and then pull it up there? Is there anything else we want to
Yeah.
talk about my team wise?
I mean,
So let's talk about what do you guys want to see at Christmas? What do you think will happen and what do you want to see?
What do I think will happen? Standard by limited edition comes this Friday.
I think you might be on the money.
Yeah. I don't know. There's got to be something over the weekend to get those agenda or rewards cards, right? Because there's no way to get them in the game right now.
No,
The
I know.
Glenn
I'm
Robinson
almost
and
certain I know
stuff.
what they are. They're just going to be the last 3 limited weeks, and they put them in three
Yeah,
times too
that's
early.
I've seen someone say that.
gotta have
I
I
think
guess
that's what
that
they are.
could be it. There'll be a locker code of some sort, whether it'll be good or bad. Who knows?
I'm sure it will be decent. They haven't missed on a
Might be
Christmas
good,
locker
might be
code
bad.
since.
It'll be a pink diamond. It'll be an all pink diamond locker code. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
Who
What
can
I
they
would like to
put in
see,
it, though?
what I would like to see, which I've already kind of spoken on, is just a card with perfect SIGs. And I don't care what else he does outside of that. I just
Too
want to
early.
see. I want to see if I should give up now or if I should actually hold out hope. That's what I want to see. I
Yeah.
want to see if I should give up,
Go
call it a year, or
go
if I
to-
should.
Jamal Crawford already has perfect SIGs.
Nah, I mean like perfect SIGs, like D-Rose size up with the Curry escape, just to see.
Just go
to see.
to
We're not getting Curry
go to
escape
the
plus
park. Go to
Oh,
the
I know.
park. Create a player with all the right SIGs, and then get your free My Team card, and you can test them out. Absolutely dog shit though.
You can't get the Curry escape in the park. Even if it's just a Derrick Rose, that would be a Derrick Rose with like limitless. Just like that's enough.
I
That's
mean,
enough
this
for me to
is
see.
usually
We
around the
could
time of
honestly
year
see
we
that.
get
That is a
big
likely
diamond.
card that we see on Friday.
Yeah. It scares me though because he's not in the NBA 75, so I'm not sure if they're gonna headline any packs with anybody who isn't a 75 player.
LeBron's coming. LeBron is like, it's either LeBron or Kawhi coming on Friday.
Yeah, if not both.
Yeah, but is there anyone else that could potentially headline that set other than LeBron or Kawhi? Because I think we've got 2 more. How many weeks more do we have after Christmas? We got 2 more, so it's only gonna be one of them.
Shaq, it's a
possibility. Or they'll drop like a D Wade or something.
Yeah.
D Wade needs a 75th card. Somebody went on Twitter and made a very helpful graphic of all the 75th players broken down by what their decade was with what's dropped and what hasn't dropped.
And get you know who made that?
No, I actually don't.
Who do you think made it?
You? I don't know.
No.
Not
who
Floki.
Makes all of these helpful graphs?
It wasn't Floki, because Floki has like No, because like Floki has like a very, very unique style to the graphics he makes, and it wasn't
or maybe Floki shared it and I saw it from Floki.
He probably did. Let me look. I think he did. I remember him saying like this takes a lot of time or something like that, which he was right.
Okay, I thought Floki made it. I could be wrong.
I can't find it.
If he liked the tweet.
Ooh,
someone else shared it. Why did I think it was Floki? Floki's too helpful. Oh no, it was Pony. No, it was Pony 1086. Oh, what was he? He gave me his account for something. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, he's a Pistons.
Did he get like first taco or something? Not first taco. He did something in my team. I know this name. I don't know why I know who he is, but I know his name. And he has like 3 tweets ever.
MJ could headline a Christmas pack. It's possible.
MJ could, yeah. It's going to be LeBron or MJ. So I'm trying to think who could headline.
I mean, MJ right after Kobe, though.
There are 3 more weeks of... No, I think MJ is going to be start of season 4, first Galaxy Opal. Or maybe first week. I think he's going to be first Galaxy Opal.
Yeah, MJ and Vince are pretty stereotypically the first 2 packable Opals we always get.
Yeah. MJ's been the first 99 every year in packs, hasn't he?
They love dropping
MJ was
MJ.
20. He was
Past
definitely in
2 years.
19, and he was in 21.
Yeah.
And in 18, no, 18 was something like Mellow, or I think it was Mellow was the first in 18. I'm pretty sure we didn't get our 99 overall LeBron in 18 till like May, and we had already gotten like Mellow, James Harden, Yao Ming.
They gotta drop those MJs early, they gotta come for the old head money.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think who's left that can headline a set. Mello can headline early in the year, but he'll be an Opal. Mello will headline as an Opal. Garnett will probably headline as an Opal. LeBron, I think, is going to headline Christmas because Jordan already has a pink diamond. I think Kawhi headlines next week, which is like 1st of January. And then we have one more batch before 250, which my prediction for a headline... there's no one really left.
Would Wilt be a show?
You can't headline Wilt, can you?
They did last year, right around the same time with that glitched Wilt.
No,
right?
Wilt was the lock-in. Wilt was a lock-in.
When did that glitched
Wilt
come
glitch
out?
was April.
Was that April?
April the 2nd. If I am correct, let me have a look.
AD's had an Idols pack before.
Yeah, but AD already has pink diamond.
True.
We need someone that hasn't headlined pink diamond. Let me check Wilt. Does my memory serve me correct? 2nd of April.
I don't know, they can
2nd of April. Him and DeRozan. Let's go.
The encyclopedia.
They can drop a pink diamond. Kristaps, he's headlined a few sets in the past.
I agree. Kristaps could headline.
Can't wait
he's
for that.
He's headlined a few sets in the past now.
Can't wait for that Billy Cunningham, Lenny Wilkins, and Bill Sharman drop tomorrow, fellas. Definitely.
Bill Sharman's probably going to be... We've never heard of Bill Sharman. He's probably going to be God. We said that about Paul Arzon, and they give him no back.
75 packs are so horrible.
Why are there more players in the 60s
sprinkle us some
than any
moments cards. That's all. might as well sprinkle in a
it's
few
so
moments cards
hard
with
to
this.
even pretend to be happy about a pack drop that has 3 cards in it.
But they do tank the price of 75th cards. Like Larry Bird's like 65k.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, those
Larry's
super
good
packs are
value
cool
for
to
that
have.
money. I'm not gonna lie.
The 75th packs are
65k
cool.
for Larry's valid.
If you're a
Do a
dude that
job.
likes to open packs with MT, like
The 75th are the best value packs you can open.
yeah, 100%. Like somebody said, I think it was one of my buddies, Lenzo, was like, people always have been asking about super packs with MT, and essentially they're in the game right now, which I guess is kind of true. They really are super packs you can open with MT.
Yeah, everyone was gassing up those odds on those 75th super packs or whatever. I went on my account and I spent my last 100k MT and I didn't even get a card from the set, so where was that? That's statistically impossible. I'm sure.
They see those 2K20 receipts. They don't want to give you anything for cheap. They know you got a wallet.
They see your account also has your console also has better than HDB on it, so they are giving you the
II blinders and the all sorts.
Your entire console, Ari, is your account, my account, and 2 accounts that got banned. It's literally
Jacob pulled magic, so I don't know. There can't be no. I don't know.
That's just tradition. They just got to give me a magic every year. That's tradition. That's just they kind of break tradition.
I'm just saying, 2K are on the ball with banning people for promoting coins. And look, I have to say, like, I'm not. Like, they are on the ball with it. They're banning everyone the day they start, and I'm cool with that. Like, they are, and like, I don't understand people on Twitter being like, "Oh, 2K are banning people, but letting people gamble." Is like, well, yeah, like you can't have a black market for coins in the game. Like, you just can't.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you know what you sign up for. Everybody, like when I got banned multiple times, like it's like I know what I signed up for here. If they pop me, they pop me. It's a cat and mouse game, and generally the cat's gonna win.
Yeah. They're gonna win.
Just too good.
But who really wins at the end of the day? How much do you really value that account? It's all person to person. It's all person to person.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I've given my reasons for not promoting coins. The money, like you're okay. Like you weren't earning enough from them where they would screw you, which they did to a lot of people that I knew. Like a lot of people got screwed.
In what sense?
If you were making like close to 5 figures a month, which a few people were, and you weren't pulling in the money they thought you were gonna pull in, they just wouldn't pay you.
Oh, you meant like screw by the
or they demand the money back, or they would demand the money back,
or just charge it back. No, yeah, I've talked to other people too after I've gotten banned and stuff about some people in the community who were OGs with the whole coin promotion, and the people I worked with were surprisingly absolute gems. Sounds like not all of them are like that though.
Like for me, like I never really begrudge anyone, except for there was a stage where one of the specific websites was legitimately scamming everybody. Like, I would never begrudge anyone for taking the money, especially because a lot of people, it is the difference between them like surviving and not surviving. Like I'd never begrudge anyone for doing it, but just know you are going to get banned. So like if you get popped, like you again, Jacob, you knew what the consequences were for doing it, and it happened. So it was whatever. Like the fact that there are people genuinely complaining about getting popped for the most obvious breaking of TOS ever. It would be like me saying, I haven't bought MT in years. It would be literally like me saying, I'm buying MT for the no money spent account right now, and expecting not to get banned.
Well, here's my question. Is it against TOS? It is technically against TOS to promote grinding services as well, right?
Yeah.
Why do they always get away with that?
There's levels to it. There are levels to breaking TOS.
I just don't understand because almost all of those grinding services outside of like one or two also sell Tyson. So
like there will be a stage where that gets popped. It just hasn't been popped yet. There aren't enough people promoting grinding services. There aren't enough big enough people promoting grinding services, and like the overall impact of grinding services isn't affecting it that much. Like it will happen. It'll happen eventually.
Pretty sure they've had a sweep or two in the park community with badge grinders, have they not? Am I totally off on that? They have.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was people promoting Sports DMB because he was literally a scammer. Like he was like getting money from some people to pay off other people. He didn't have any money. He was literally siphoning off the money himself and using some people's money to pay other people's, like stealing accounts off people. Like his was a legitimate scam. Like
The Pablo Escobar of 2K.
Like it was like, it wasn't a Ponzi scheme, but it was like the way he moved money was like it was a Ponzi scheme. Like just using like new people to pay old people off and making them wait 8 months for their money. And he would, if you were someone of note, he would always pay you. But if you weren't someone of note, he never paid you. Like he sent me a message on one of his burner accounts, being like, "Oh no, his business is legit. He's just like really bad with money." And like he explained basically how he was like, it was definitely him on a burner, explaining how he moved the money around and why people were taking so late. And I'm like, you do realize you are essentially running some sort of weird 2K Ponzi scheme, don't you? And he was like, "Oh no, he's definitely not doing that." I'm like, read what you said to me and read what a Ponzi scheme is. It's like, and they never replied again.
Man, I missed out on the glory years. No drama like that nowadays.
Oh, like no, you didn't miss. I was about to say, did you miss out on the glory years? Like I regret, like if I knew what I knew now and I had started like properly grinding and been smart about it in 2015, I would have been in part of the glory years. Like I was not part of the glory years of 2K. I'm not gonna say that. Like the glory years were 2K15 to 16. They were
That was the time.
They were well and truly
I played the game
years.
back then, but
yeah,
play it enough.
But no, like it was, and everyone's saying like, "Oh, the games were so much better back then. If we get the old 2Ks back, no, they weren't better. They weren't. I don't care what anyone says. The games weren't better. It was just you had Cash, you had Jesse, you had these really big people that were making content on the game. You had Pretty Boy Fredo, in Park. You had these guys here. Like they're guys that would have blown up whatever they did, and they just happened to all choose 2K and all do it around the same time. But like, just because they're gone doesn't mean like the game was better, because it wasn't. Like we play the same game every single year. Of course, we're gonna start detesting it. Like I'm talking about FIFA being like, "Oh, I think FIFA's good." The FIFA YouTubers hate FIFA and they really like 2K. Like if you do the same thing over and over again, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I watched a video that Shock made pretty recently about explaining why 2K16 and 17 are just not even good, that if they brought those games back exactly how they were and remastered them, people would hate them. And watching it, it's like people are just looking back at that with nostalgic eyes, because there was a lot of exploits in those games. Probably more than there are today.
Yeah, you could literally score every possession in those games and it was unguardable. Like, there were plays you would run in MyTEAM that would give you a wide open 3-point shot every time because it would glitch the AI. And people were just like, people laughed about it time. People hated those games at the time. Like, I remember I saw a video from, who was it? It was one of the guys that was in TW anyway. I think it might have been Cole, where he literally made a 20-minute rant video being like, 2K16 sucks. There's no skill gap. This game absolutely sucks. And then years later, he's like, well, 2K16 was the best game ever. We need that back. And I'm like, you literally made a video saying it sucked.
Yeah.
But we all look back with nostalgia goggles. Like, I think 19 was probably the best one. And obviously we all hated 18 because Fortnite was there. I don't even think 18 was that bad a game.
I didn't even really play Fortnite that year. Like, no, everyone was gassing it. I just don't think I really played anything at all that year.
I hated it. I hated it. The core was too big and the blow-bys were overpowered to the point where it would drive me insane up a wall. Like, I hated that game.
Yeah, I didn't like 18. I just don't think it's as bad as people were saying. But I nearly lost my mind in 2018. It was the year I took off college, and I was averaging at the end of 2K17. I was averaging like 1.5 million views a month, and I thought, I didn't know the way everything was. I didn't know when Dead Season was because it was the first year I ever made content. So I thought, oh, Dead Season is the end of the game, because that's what people used to say. Oh, there's nothing to do at the end. So I thought like, oh, the new game's gonna come out, everything's gonna boom. And I was suddenly pulling in like a quarter of the viewers I was at my peak, and was like contemplating my life. Like, what the hell have I done? I've taken a year out of college. I don't know what I'm doing with myself. I was this close so many times giving up in 18.
Shout out B-Ball Daily.
B-Ball Daily. How good is the professor actually? How good is the professor actually video slating Julian Newman? Like, and the LeVar Ball year where he sent his kids to Lithuania and all that crap. That's how I survived. That is literally the only reason I'm still doing there right now, because of those ridiculous B-Ball Daily videos.
Yep. If you're ever down on your luck, just make a few videos trash talking Julian Newman, and
yeah,
it
was free money. And that 7'7" Rob Bob, it was free money. You made a video about Julian Newman, it got 1 million views in a week, and that was a common occurrence. There was a 50-50 chance if you made a Julian Newman video back in 2017, you were getting 1 million views in a week.
Man,
like in the summer or in early December 2018, like at this stage, like I think I was happy. Like going into November, I was making like 5-6K a month, and like this is November 2018, so this is a year and a bit. This is when I was back in college and stuff. And then I made $2,000 in a day in the second day of December because a Julian Newman video had 1 million views in a day. Like I had 1.6 million views over a 48-hour period, and I'm just sitting there like, what the hell is going on?
Could you imagine
one video?
If modern day DBG was in that era? Lads, back today for the 5th time, talking about Julian Newman again.
modern day DBG. I'm like, again, this is one of those situations where it's like, I can't do that now because there are so many, like, I'm not even gonna say it's very hard to make money off NBA content unless, like, there's weird ways to get around it, but it's really hard to do it. Unless, like, even the likes of, like, Flight Mike and stuff, like, he'd maybe pull in 3 times the amount of views I will. And, like, we've talked about money, and it's, like, it's comparable. Like, our money's similar. It's very hard to make money off NBA content. But back then, when nobody was doing it, in 2017, my God, if you put my brain into 2016, 20-year-old me, I'd be a multi-millionaire right now. And I'm confident saying that. I
mean, that's how a lot of stuff goes, though. You know, hindsight is 2020. It's a cliche thing to say, but you know.
Yeah. But like you could say the same thing. Like if you had known what way YouTube was going to go when you were 14 years old, you would have been one of the biggest. You would have been one of the biggest like 2K people in 2K13. You probably would have made connections that would have helped you, and you'd probably be a millionaire right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I sorry for bringing that up, but it's like,
oh no, it's something that's been well thought, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's in the same boat. Like it's like if you just made a weird. It's such just a weird thing. Like people didn't know what they were doing back then. People were just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. Whereas now it seems like everyone's kind of doing. I mean, it's easy. Like me and Henry are in autopilot mode. We're doing the same thing as we've done for years. Ty is doing exactly what I'm doing, but from a comp player's perspective. And everyone's kind of doing the same thing as they always did.
Yeah.
I can't wait for somebody new to come in. I'm just waiting for that day. I don't want to be the highest viewed MyTEAM YouTuber. And outside like Troy Dan, I've been the highest viewed MyTEAM YouTuber for probably close to the last 20 months. Since like April 2020. I don't want to be that anymore. I want someone to come in and overtake me. Because at least that makes things interesting again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're all waiting for the day. I mean, I don't know. Might never happen. Game might. The NBA 2K just will never fully die out. It's the only
2K won't die. Game. Someone has to. Yeah, like obviously, I know Click Production did it in like he did it in my league. So there is room to blow up. Someone just has to blow up in my team. And like I'm cool. Like so many people, they're being like, "Oh, you're just gonna get like, what's gonna happen when someone overtakes you?" I'm like, I want it to happen. Like. Because then there's still something to aim for. There's new stuff to do. There's like a new like way of looking at things. That's why I was so happy when Ty started doing like reaction videos and stuff like that, kind of bringing more competitive MyTEAM into it. Because like, there's a completely new angle you can look at MyTEAM now, and it's easier to make content on it. I just want someone to bring that in. But yeah, that I'm good with that. Are you guys okay?
Yes, sir. I'll go ahead and find someone to raid.